Welcome to the Dreamfinder Homes pregame show. Al Spada alongside EJ Sanchez here with you. Week number 5 with the Glen Grizzlies as they get ready to take on the Wolves of Pflugerville Weiss High School. Grizzlies coming off of a very impressive win last week in their district opener, 62-29 over the Elgin Wildcats. EJ, great to be with you today. How's it going?
It's going good. I'm ready for another day. Hopefully another Grizzlies win.
So last week when we talked about Elgin, 9 touchdowns scored. If you joined us, we were bearing the elements. We were outside in the rain, but we were here doing Grizzly football. 9 touchdowns by 6 different players. 2 of the guys that stood out to me, quarterback Drew McGuire had 3 passing touchdowns all in the first half, and Lamont Slade 4 rushing touchdowns. We're going to talk to Lamont today in the pregame show. We also have Lee Polak and Coach Rob Shainfeld as well. So throughout the show, as we get ready for kickoff at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, we will play those interviews and those sound bites. 62 points, 542 yards of offense, program highs. Last year they scored 61 against Lanier. The 62 is the high, and the first time they were above 500 yards offense. This game also featured 200-yard rushers. Lamont Slade, 134 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Julian Morris, 167 rushing yards, 63 of those on a big run. Jarvis Henderson had 4 catches for 119 yards. And the aforementioned Drew McGuire, 12 for 15, 80%, 192 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. I feel like they're still scoring.
Yeah, I mean, what this offense showed you last week is that they're able to beat you multiple ways. They can get you on the ground. Obviously, you saw Slade and you saw Morris, but there's more backs that can get in there. Obviously, you saw Henderson averaging almost 30 yards a catch. I mean, that's just insane. But I think what McGuire did last week is he proved that he can throw with anybody in this district. A lot of people know. We know that Glenn is a running football team. We know that. But when you see McGuire starting to throw for 150 yards in the first half, and you don't even have to test your quarterback's arm in the second half, it shows you how good and how well balanced this offense is.
Absolutely. So, again, we do our weekly show with Coach Shainfeld on Wednesdays. Got a chance to talk to him yesterday. When all these guys are in a rhythm, how is he figuring out who's he going to play, who's he going to bring in? A lot of different things going on. And then we also wanted to talk to him about what happened with Nate Hatter. He got 1 target last week. Drew McGuire couldn't get his feeding. He would have hit Hatter at the 40-yard line, had open space to score. So, but he did a great job blocking, opening up these run lanes for these guys. So let's listen to see what Coach Shainfeld had to say about the play calling and as well as Nate Hatter. What's today? Do you know?
Wednesday, October 3rd.
One more. Pause that.
Wednesday, October.
All right, so we'll get that file fixed up for you. But the defense was also a big thing. Defense was able to turn over 4 different times in the ball game. They were able to get 4 different turnovers, 2 interceptions, 1 by Chase Dowden, 1 by Cody Bagwell, 2 fumble recoveries, and they also got a blocked kick by Noah Holmes. So this defense was all over the place, ready to go. I think we have that soundbite ready for Coach Schoenfeld. Coach Shainfeld, excuse me.
Please. I'm always happy when we distribute the ball like we've talked about before. As the play caller, there is a conscious effort for me to make sure everybody gets touches. Not necessarily equal, but just make sure they get touches. It's not difficult for me as the play caller to consciously get people the ball because they can do the job. So I'm always happy when guys get touches. I'm always happy when a guy like Shamir scores a touchdown.
We haven't seen Nate Hatter much in the last 2 games. Is that kind of be something that we're going to look at?
Yeah, that's not by design. We want Nate to get 5 or 6 touches a game. Last week we had him open on a bootleg, and Drew didn't get his feet set because he had some really quick pressure off a blitz, which really we don't have. By design, we don't have that guy blocked if he decides to blitz, and that's part of the reason why Nate's always open on bootlegs was those guys blitz from the boundary.
Open field in front of him.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at it, he probably scores because there was the only thing left. That was about the 40-yard line. The only thing left between him and the goal line was a corner, and we had a receiver out in front of him to block that guy. Yeah, I mean, we just had to throw it a little quick with not a great platform underneath our feet and just was a little underthrown. So Nate and I actually initiated a conversation with Nate once we got home last Friday and said, when college coaches turn on the tape from tonight, you won't have receiving stats, but it'll probably be mean more to them when they watch tonight's game than ones that you have caught touchdown passes or caught multiple passes, because you blocked like a madman and cleared. Was part of the reason we got a bunch of over 300 yards rushing. And yeah, I mean, Nate's the ultimate team guy, and he understands at that position sometimes you're going to be catching a lot of balls, and sometimes, well, all the time you're expected to block. So yeah, if we can get him reintegrated into being, because having a tight end that's legit passing receiving threat is a huge blessing, and because of us trying to work the clock last week and had a lead and trying to get out of that game with a win, being the first district game that we've ever played. I mean, we ran the ball a bunch in the second half to keep that clock rolling, and he was a huge part of why we were at 350 yards rushing or whatever it was.
And that's the thing. Again, we heard from Coach Shanefield talking about Nate Hatter and play calling ability from all these different playmakers that they have to get them the ball. But I was very impressed, to see that he noticed. Obviously, as a coach, he's going to notice everything, but you got to get this guy involved. And if they can get him involved with the playmakers they already have in the receiving game with Henderson and Martin, Thompson out of the backfield, and all these guys, this is just going to make this team even stronger as they get forward. But Nate Hatter did his job blocking and opening up holes, and as he's right, he's got a Division I body, and hopefully some coaches are out there and they're looking at tape and they're saying this guy's going to work hard, he's got a lunch pail, and he's going to do his thing.
Yeah, exactly. And if you get Nate Hatter going, that just makes his offense so much more dynamic than it already is. I mean, if you have any one back that can take it 20-plus yards on any given play, and then you have Henderson in the slot, you have him able to make plays across the field, you have Sam Martin who's able to stretch the field, but then you have Hatter who's another red zone threat. When you get down into the red zone, and we've seen how much Hatter is usually targeted there, it makes the offense so much more dynamic. But, I mean, you described it perfectly. As a tight end, obviously you want to catch balls, but that's why they call it a hybrid, is because the tight end's job is also to block, and they don't have that game last week without him on the ground if Nate Hatter doesn't do what he did.
Absolutely. So just touching back on the defense quickly, they gave up 413 yards, so they gave up a lot of big plays, but as we always say with this team, is that bend don't break mentality. They're able to force some turnovers. After they gave the safety, which to me was a really important part of the game. I know you had mentioned it too last week. You had said that it was deflating for Elgin. They got the safety, and they were getting the ball back on the very first play. They crowd the backfield, get a blitz going, throws the interception right into Chase Dowden's lap, and they get points right before the half again. So this defense carried them. They've been really strong. And again, we're going to talk about offense and the big playmakers, but this defensive front, these linebackers, again, we're going to have Lee Polak in a couple of minutes as well on the show before we get started. But this defense is playing really well, and I expect to have a very, very, very strong game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you have James Francis Daiku in the middle, you have Hester on the middle, you also have Guy in, and also you Polak and Creel that are also in the middle, and those two are really the guys that when you see those big plays in the backfield, they're usually the two that are breaking into the backfield and making those plays and making those big stops. So it's always good to have that defense shored up, and especially with, you said, the bend don't break mentality.
Absolutely. So, and then again, another component of it was the offensive line. They have not allowed a sack in 4 games all season, and you look down there and you see, the offensive line that Glenn has. They're not the biggest guys, but they're pretty strong. They're good with their feet. They have great technique. That comes from the coaching of offensive line coach Clint Horman, assistant line coach Ivan Shelnut, and everybody that's in this program. They understand how hard those guys are working, the lanes that they're opening up. And again, Drew McGuire has not been sacked once this season. We'll knock on wood, keep that streak going as we get into week 5. So let's hear quickly from Coach Schoenfeld about the O-line and everything that they've been doing. Coach, big win last week. Talk to me about the offensive line. That was a big thing for us on the radio cast. They've kept Drew clean all season long, opening up running lanes. Talk to me about the offensive line. How proud of you and the coaching of offensive line coach Clint Horman.
Just outstanding. Coach Horman and Coach Ivan Shelnut both coach the offensive line. This is about, 3 years in Edna, 3 years in Cedar Park, 2 years at Glenn. So that's 8 years that Clint and I have worked together. And then Coach Shelnut, his assistant, is a Leander High grad in the midst of his inaugural season as a Texas high school football coach. But those two have done a great job. Offensive line is hard, and I know that because I played it. And no glory, just grind, and they're bigger guys, so when it's hot, they feel it more, and carrying around a big weight, and it's just a true grind. And they are always the unsung heroes. Now they get a lot of love from me and from people in the program who know football, but just can't say enough of them about them, because we're not the biggest. We haven't been bigger than the defensive lines that we've been facing in any game this year.
Yeah, some big boys against McCallum.
We've played some big folks, and even going back to the first game against Liberty Hill, their two defensive ends are monsters. We've been outsized, I think, every game. I don't think we've been outstrengthed or outplayed or out-hustled or outworked or outfought. Our guys are fighters, and
how much work are they putting in? Is it a lot of film work?
Well, it's and everybody does that. That's standard. We do a lot of film work with the kids. We don't back off amount of days we're in there. We don't back off our weight workouts during the season. We knew we weren't going into the year going to be the biggest most of the time, or the bigger of the two lines most weeks, and we talked a lot about finding our advantage, finding what our edge would be, knowing that it's not going to necessarily be size. Well, because you can't do anything about that, but there's a few things you can do something about, and you have control over. You control over how much strength you can build in yourself, and those guys did a great job over the summer of being here and working hard. Got a great weight room culture, I think, here, and especially amongst the big boys. You can control that. You can control how strong you get. You can make a decision that you're going to be accountable to those other guys on the O-line, and you can control how hard you play. And we have a model that we try to live by, that is part of our culture, is we're going to play longer, harder, faster, meaner than the other guys willing to play. And if that's doable a lot of the time, and I think that was in evidence last Friday for sure. And no one was leading that effort as a position group more than the offensive line.
Again, so that was Coach Rob Shainfeld talking about this offensive line, the hard work that they've been doing. Again, when we look at this team, and everybody loves to say it, and we see it in the media, on KView, and the papers, the first season, these guys have been working for 3 years. This team put in that work, getting in the weight room, and just getting the results that they want to see. And that's what Lamont Slade had to say, and we'll get him on the other side of the break. But just very impressed with how this team plays, how hard they play, and how well coached they are. This is a very well coached team. This is not your typical team. Now, if you look on the other side of the field, you got Weiss coming into the game, 0-4 on the season, and not being able to generate much offense. They're in a tougher spot as a new team, and that's kind of what people expected to see out of this Glenn team. Struggling maybe a little bit, getting to know your identity, figuring out the guys playing, the speed and the size of Texas 5A varsity football. Glenn has answered that call, and as we talk off the air all the time, we're very excited about what this team can do this season and to become. So we're going to come back on a break. We're going to have Lamont Slade and Lee Polak come in. We're going to have the Weiss preview. Coach spoke more to Coach Rob Shainfeld about educating winning, a lesson that he got from Jimbo Fisher. But first, let me talk to you about Dreamfinder Homes. Dreamfinder Homes, now building homes from the mid-200s. This community is the perfect location for growing close with nature, living a healthy lifestyle, and creating memories with friends and family. Conveniently located along Austin's North Corridor, Orchard Ridge has easy access to the Leander Independent School District and many of Austin's entertainment hubs. Come check out this perfect place to call home today, brought to you by Dreamfinder Homes. Homes built to fit your lifestyle. Visit dreamfinderhomes.com/orchard-ridge for more information.
KMAX Sports is the largest online broadcast company in Central Texas. How large is that? Well, think of the Congress Avenue Bridge Bat Colony. Okay, folks, here they come. They're flying out from under the bridge. They appear to be Louisville Sluggers, and they're falling. Oh, the humanity. As God is my witness, I thought bats could fly. Bringing your teams to you since 2003 without dropping the ball or the bat. We are KMAX Sports.
At Austin Pets Alive, the mission is to promote and provide the resources, education, and programs needed to eliminate the killing of companion animals. That means more happy pets joining more happy families every single day. In fact, Austin Pets Alive has saved more than 25,000 dogs and cats since 2008, and you can help. Adopt a new family member, help out with a donation, or roll up your sleeves and volunteer. If you have love, time, or money to spare, and we all have at least one of those, you are needed. Visit AustinPetsAlive.com to get started. Austin Pets Alive, helping people help pets.
This is head football coach Rob Shainfeld, and you're listening to Grizzlies football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
All right, welcome back to the Dreamfinder Homes pregame show. Alan Spade alongside with EJ Sanchez, Mitchell Padgett behind the glass doing the QA work for us today. Again, Thursday night football is our second of the season. We had a Thursday night game when we played McCallum. Beautiful come from behind victory last week in Elgin, so the Glen Grizzlies looking to win their third game in a row. Sorry. My notes. So they're going to take their 1-0 district record against the Weiss Wolves, who lost their district opener last week to Bastrop, 19-7. So you look at 62-29, 91 points scored, and now you look at this Bastrop Weiss game, 26 points, not much offense going on in that game. What are you looking forward to in this game?
Well, it's just definitely going to be a different type of game than we saw last week. I mean, Elgin, we knew coming into the game, had a good offense. They were averaging over at least 150 yards a game on the ground. But tonight, it looks like we're steering more towards the defensive model, although the Grizzly offense has other plans. Hopefully, they're going to try to get up early. But it's going to be important for them to do what they did last week, and that is control the line of scrimmage. We just talked about it with the offensive line, starting up front, because when you control the line of scrimmage, we obviously will talk about the ground game. The ground game has been phenomenal, but when you can control the line of scrimmage, it opens up the passing lane so much more, because we've talked about it. Drew McGuire we talked about it earlier, hasn't had a single sack all year. The offensive line has been doing an unprecedented job. So, keeping him upright and allowing everybody else to do their job is going to be the key tonight for the offense.
Another player we had to check in this week again. We had to check in with Lamont Slade and Lee Pollock. Lamont Slade talked about his performance, his 4 touchdowns, as we mentioned, the offensive line play, as well as young junior running back Shamir Nichols getting his first touchdown of the season last week against Elgin. Let's hear from Lamont Slade.
Lamont, first thing, I need you on my fantasy team, man. You got touchdowns last week, got it going. What was it like to get in the end zone that many times?
Honestly, I'm just running behind my own line, doing what I'm doing, and it was to be expected, kind of just the way we've been grinding throughout the season. Lots of results against a good team, very good opponent, but we've been doing our thing for years now. I'm just kind of really feeling the first rush of being in district. So
when you have a game like that on the road, 62 points, all this offense, like you start thinking about all those 5 a.m. mornings the last 2 years, does it kind of come together for you to say, wow, this is what it was all for, this is why it was worth working so hard these last couple of years?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is just results. It's like we've been working so hard since freshman year, honestly, like finding out I was going to Glen and all that, so just all added up together, and I'm really happy with the results so far.
You mentioned that offensive line. I spoke to Coach Shanefield about it. I mean, I haven't seen Drew McGuire go down. They're opening holes for you guys, for you, for Julian, for Corin, for everybody.
Yeah.
Talk to me about the trust that you have in that O-line and how hard they're working right now.
I mean, honestly, our O-line is insane. So, once again, their quarterback has not gone down yet, and just holes are open a lot. Never got negative yards or anything like that. So I have a lot of faith in my O-line.
So we always talk about in the booth, it's like you have this 3-headed monster with you, Corin, and Julian. On the season, Corin's got 42 carries. You and Julian both have 47 carries. So there's an even distribution of the ball. But how do you kind of stay fresh when you're kind of running in and out, and how do you kind of stay, most backs need to get into a rhythm, but it seems like wherever they plug and play, especially you guys seem to just hit it and go.
You just got to be ready whenever, honestly. It could be either of us. Even some plays we don't even know who's going to get the ball when we go out there, and just got to be ready no matter what.
Also, another guy that we were talking about is the tight end Nate Hatter, and he's a big play threat. But he's been doing a great job the last couple of weeks blocking and making things happen. So, talk to me about Nate and what he's doing every week to make sure that you guys are playing at your best.
Nate, he used to be on defense actually, and so going to offense, we knew that he was going to be able to do something at tight end. He's doing a really good job, especially adjusting to a position he wasn't used to yet. But yeah, Nate just physically is stronger and bigger than a lot of people, and it shows.
So 6 guys got touchdowns last week. You got 4 of them. Julian got one. Corin got one. Sam got one. Everybody got one. But talk to me about Shamir Nichols. He was coming in. He comes in a lot on third down. He's a quick, speedy back. For him to get one, a younger player, how excited were you guys for him?
Yeah, I mean, that's something we've always had a goal to have Shamir in the end zone, honestly. And then we knew that was our game, our opportunity where he can get one. So real excited for him and going to continue from that.
All right, Lamont, thanks for joining us on the pregame show.
Thank you.
Good luck this week.
All right, so that was running back Lamont Slade, a senior. Again, has been here from day one in this program. Alan Spade alongside E.J. Sanchez here on the Dreamfinders Homes pregame show as the Glen Grizzlies are getting ready to be led out by their head coach, Ron Shanefield. Going to run out to a nice crowd here on this Thursday night affair. But quickly, we talk so much about this offense. We love it. The points that they score. This Grizzly defense has been huge, especially in the last two games, generating turnovers, making big stops. Here's Lee Pollock talking about the defense and the excitement of Glen's rookie season.
All right, we're now joined by senior linebacker Lee Pollock. Lee, thanks for joining the pregame show. This defense has been pretty strong. First 4 games of the season, you guys are finally starting to gel together. Last week, you got 4 turnovers, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles recovery. What's the attitude like with the defensive guys right now?
You know, we just go out, work hard every day, just grind every day and hope to be something great.
So when you see a guy like Cody Bagwell get inserted into the starting lineup and he comes up with a big interception at the end of the game to kind of seal it for you guys, what's the excitement like for Cody and what's just the overall feeling on the sideline?
Everyone's just happy, We knew when he got that we pretty much had it in the bag. And, it's always great to get a district win.
So you seem like a quiet kid now, but when you're out there on the field, you're everywhere, you hit hard, you're always in the backfield. You and Brian Creel and everybody on this defense, but mostly you and Brian Creel, you guys are in on every single play, it seems like. How do you keep that intensity up on every single play?
You gotta keep your head up. If a bad play happens, coach always says don't let it turn into 4, and then you just keep playing.
What have you seen this week from Pflugerville Weiss that you can kind of take with you to the game plan and the preparation for Thursday's game?
They're a good team. You can't ever diss or overthink somebody. But they got some good players, and we're just gonna do our best and see what happens.
What's it like when you're on the sideline and your offense is scoring 62 points, everybody's getting touchdowns, Drew's flinging the ball all over the place, you guys are on the road in a hostile environment. I know you guys weren't surprised because you guys expected to do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like in that long bus ride from Elgin back to Leander? What was the excitement like for that team?
It was crazy. Everyone was jumping up and down. The excitement is just high, and you just don't know. Anything can happen.
All right, Lee. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and good luck this week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
So that was soft-spoken, hard-hitting Lee Pollock there, middle linebacker for the Glen Grizzlies. Again, a lot of excitement for this program. They brought in, so you see it on both sides of the ball, right? Young player Shamir Nichols gets in there, has an impact. Young player Cody Bagwell steps into the starting role. He gets a big interception at the end of the game to kind of seal it for them. But this defense, they're playing with so much intensity each and every snap. And like he said, and that's a message from Coach Shanefield, if you make a mistake, that's all right. Don't let it turn into multiple mistakes and 3 and 4 and compounding mistakes. They make a mistake, and as I mentioned, they got that safety last week on the punt that went over their head. The very next first play on offense, they get the turnover and set them up to score again. So this team knows how to bend, don't break, and also fix any mistakes that they may have.
Yeah, you see it every time, and you see every single broadcast. I think I've alluded to it, is that whenever they get punched in the mouth, they come and punch right back. I mean, if you give up a huge touchdown, then your offense immediately comes back out and they answer. Or if your offense has a turnover, and we're lucky that they haven't had a lot of them, if your offense has a turnover in the red zone, which has happened a couple of times, you see always the defense, the 3 and out the next play.
Sure.
Keeping the field, winning the field position battle. Even when they're not giving up touchdowns, they want more than that. They want to keep the field position game in their favor and make it easier for this offense to score points. But yeah, you're right. This defense, I mean, top to bottom, is just one of the best in the district so far.
So Weiss comes into today's game averaging just under 8 points a game. So again, this is not an offense that so far has shown that they can put it together, but as Coach Schoenfeld said, you don't want to take anybody for granted, especially on a Thursday or Friday night in Texas. They'll come out and beat you. What they've seen on film is that Coach Tommy Altman, who was at Hendrickson, which is a pretty strong program in its own right, he's bringing a winning culture the same way Schoenfeld brought one here to Glenn. So Coach Schoenfeld is expecting a tough fight for the Weiss Wolves. They have improved, but let's go in more detail when we spoke to Coach Schoenfeld about the Weiss matchup this week.
Test.
What's today? Do you know?
Wednesday, October 3rd.
That audio file, we'll fix that one in a second for you. But the message was, before we get to a quick commercial break, was that they were going to have to, work hard and educate winning, which is something that we're going to talk about in the halftime portion of today's program. Is that Coach Jimbo Fisher, they beat Arkansas State. They wiped the floor with them pretty much, but they had a lot of mistakes. They played some sloppy ball, and it's all about educating winning. How when you have a team like Elgin last week, they could have slammed the door on Elgin and locked it in the third quarter, and they kind of let them hang around. They gave us some big plays to Trey Ism and Daniel Gonzalez out in the flat, moving around. So the part of educating winning is like when you have a team, you got to keep them down. You got to hold them down, slam that door, and move on.
Yeah, I think that's the one piece that we've seen on the offensive side of the football that you'd like to see better. In McAllen, the huge win against over a ranked team that went to state last year, they let them hang around all the way until the end. I mean, even down to that last lateral play, McAllen never went away.
Absolutely.
And the same thing last week, we talked about it multiple times on the air, is that every single time it seemed like they put it away, Elgin came back with a touchdown or a huge explosive play to try to keep them in the game. So that's the next step I want to see this offense take. I want to see this offense keep their foot on the gas and then let them go.
Absolutely. So let's look around the district. Again, we're in Region 4, District 13, 5A football. In the district right now, 8 teams. Bastrop's 1-0, Eastview's 1-0, Cedar Creek 1-0, Glen Grizzlies 1-0. On the other side, you got Elgin, Marble Falls, Brenham, and Weiss all 0-1. A lot of those teams are in action tomorrow night. Right now, Glen's the only team in this district in action tonight. So it'd be nice if they can get a win, kind of rest on Friday, get an extra day off, and kind of enjoy this win, see what else is happening. Maybe get a scouting trip out to Bastrop and see what they're doing this week. This team, for this district, as I mentioned, Drew McGuire is second in the district with 658 passing yards. He's first in completions with 48, fourth in completion percentage with 61%. That stat's a little skewed as we're going to get ready for the national anthem because there are a couple guys in there, 1-for-1 Hail Mary throws, so they're at 100%. And second in touchdowns. So we're going to pause quickly here as we get ready for the national anthem. We're 2 minutes and 20 seconds away from first kick here at Bible Stadium in Leander, Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, football fans, please remain standing as the Glen Band plays as the national anthem is being played. If you have any covers, please remove them at this time.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, what's the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet
great national anthem. It's perfect time. We're about 10 seconds away for a kickoff here as the Glen Grizzlies will take on the Pflugerville Weiss Wolves
Ladies and gentlemen,
in
that
this
was Glen High
District
School
13-5A Region 4 football game. Again, Glen coming into the game with a 1-0 district record. Weiss 0-1 the district, 0-4 overall. Glen 2-2 overall, 2 wins in a row. What are your keys to the game tonight?
My keys to the game is get Hatter involved. Hatter has been, I mean, we talked about it on the pregame show, is that Nate Hatter is a guy that when they're in the red zone, he's usually the first guy they go to. And you would say he has a D1 body, and he's been doing a great job blocking. But I want to see him maybe hit some seams, maybe hit some crossing routes, and really try to get him into the game.
I agree with you. Two guys, it's Nate Hatter. I also want to see Sam Martin. He always has those big plays. I want to see what he can do in the kicking return game. We've seen him back there kind of making things happen. I want to see him get more involved. He's kind of like that Odell Beckham player. I know he's a fan of his. He wears the 13. He's got the blonde hair on the side just like him as well. So I want to see him get out in space, get those wheels turning because he's a really fast player, really fast guy. So I want to see them do that. And I want to see Drew McGuire continue the consistency of great plays, no risky throws last week, right? Some of those other games, he's throwing across the field on the run. I don't want to see any risky throws from Drew McGuire. 80% completion last week, 3 passing touchdowns. I'd love to see him keep up that pace as we get ready for this win. So for this game, excuse me.
A little premature.
No, for this game, it's a big game. So we're going to take a quick break. We're getting ready for the coin flip, and we'll be back on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Socialize with us.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, that dang old internet, man, you just go on there and point and click. It's real easy, man.
On Twitter, @KMAX Sports, or catch us on Facebook. Search KMAX Sports. Just another way KMAX Sports is bringing your teams to you. From West Texas all the way to the Bayou, and all points in between.
I saw miles and miles of Texas.
This is the KMAX Sports Network, bringing your teams to you.
This is Lamont Slade, running back.
44-yard touchdown for Lamont Slade as he went right up the gut.
And listening to Grizzly Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
All right, Alex Peda, EJ Sanchez, Mitchell Padgett here with you. Week 5, getting ready to go underway. Starting lineups quickly for the Glen Grizzlies. At left tackle to be number 73, Trent Brown. At left guard, number 55, Rudy Martinez. The center, the long snapper, the all-everything for this team. The senior, number 70, Jacob Trim. At right guard, number 61, Nick Maddox. And at right tackle, number 53, Slade Jokas. Behind center is Drew McGuire. Split left to him will be Samuel Martin, number 13, number 5, Corin Thompson, and number 20, Jarvis Henderson. In the backfield, you got Julian Morris, Lamont Slade, and we'll also see the tight end, Nate Hatter. Glen will receive the opening kickoff as Pflugerville Weiss is ready to kick off. We will have, it looks like Sam Martin and Jarvis Henderson are back deep to receive the kick.
Must have heard you.
So see if they can get something going on now.
Are you ready for some football?
And here is the kick, and it's up high, and Martin is going to catch it at the 20-yard line. Here he goes. Misses the tackle out to the 30, to the 35, out to the 40, to the 44-yard line. A big return for Sam Martin. Count that for about 24 yards on that kickoff return.
Yeah, exactly. Like 2 minutes ago, already talking about you want to get Sam Martin involved. But that's been a strength of this team all season. In special teams, they're usually able to get good returns. And on the flip side of it, they're good at making tackles flying all over the field.
Again, so this team ready to pick up right where they left off last week, 62 points against Elgin. 34 of those points came in the first half. So let's see how this first drive comes out. We'll be going right to left on your radio at home. Two backs in the backfield will be Slade and Morris. Out wide to the left is Henderson. Out right is Martinez. The give is to Corin Thompson. He's going to shake a tackle. He's going to get back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. 2nd and 10 for the Grizzlies.
I obviously didn't see it on this play, but this offensive line has to be able to set the tone early and get control. As we always say, games are won in the trenches, especially with the Grizzlies. It's all important for them to start out this game.
Absolutely. So 2nd down and 10 from their own 44-yard line. McGuire in the shotgun snap. Takes the snap. He's back to pass. He's going to roll out to his right. He's looking for a play. He's looking big downfield. He's got Nate Hatter across the 30-yard line into Wolves territory, and then there comes a flag. Might be a horse collar on the play, but a big pass to Nate Hatter.
Yeah, great catch over the middle, and it looked like it just came right over him. Made a good over-the-shoulder catch. Really difficult catch. It looked a lot easier from up here, but it was a really difficult catch. Great catch there by Nate Hatter.
A 31-yard first down reception. And then we got a horse collar tackle on top of that, so we're going to tack on some more yardage. But a 31-yard play to Nate Hatter, and Coach Shanefield was right. He was going to get him involved early.
I mean, it's important. You see these tight ends in the modern game today is they're so big to an offense when you have a receiver like that that's able to do the damage that he's done.
So we're trying to see where they're going to put the ball now. The ball's down at the 25-yard, and they're going to move it forward. See if they'll give them 15 or 10. It will be indeed a 15-yard penalty as they're going to put the ball down at the Wolves' 13-yard line.
It's going to be important for this offense to try to get going early.
Morris has a split back in the backfield. He's going to move to the right side of McGuire, who's in the shotgun snap. Two right to the side as the pass is there, and Corin Thompson is trying to move forward. He's inside the 10-yard line. He's going to get to about the 9-yard line. So pick up 4 yards for Corin Thompson. 2nd and 6 for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, you see what the strategy was for Glenn. Last week they tried to start off and try to get some receivers out in the flat. And that's something they usually do starting off the game. Starting dinking and ducking a little bit, trying to make something happen underneath.
Just getting started, 10:46 and counting left to go in the first quarter. 2nd and 6 for the Grizzlies as they bring Thompson in motion. He'll hand off. He'll bounce outside to the left. He's still waiting to turn upfield, and he's going to lose a bunch of yards on this one as he is pushed back all the way
Corin Thompson
to the
running the ball
13-yard line.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're taught not to do. Usually you're taught to keep going forward and never try to go back, but it looked like he was trying to make sure. It looked like he was just trying to get to the corner and break free. He wasn't able to do that. Good stop right there from Weiss.
Yeah, he just waited too long to kind of cut up field. So loss of 4 to bring him back to the original line of scrimmage. They'll call it 3rd and 9. They're at their own 13. They need the Wolves' 4-yard line. Thompson again in motion. McGuire back to pass. He's got pressure. He's looking around. He's got nowhere to go. He's trying to get out of the pocket and throw it out of bounds. Sam Martin almost makes a nice one-handed catch at the 1-yard line, but the ball is out of bounds. That'll bring a 4th down for the Grizzlies.
I thought for a minute that Martin got his foot in, and it seems like he outstretched, but just about maybe off by a foot. Couldn't drag his foot in bounds, so it looks like it'll be up to Soto to try to capitalize on this first drive.
Pedro Soto is out for his first field goal attempt of the season. We haven't seen Pedro Soto on the field goals. We've seen him a lot on the extra points. He's 17 for 17 on the year, so he's going to set up for what looks like a 30-yard field goal. Sam Martin is there to hold. The kick is up, and it is it's no good. It's wide. The kick is no good. Thought it was going to get in at the last second, and it just missed wide to the right. So the kick is no good by Pedro Soto, and the Wolves will take over on downs.
Missed opportunity right there, and if you see the snap on this hold, Martin had laces facing towards Soto, so Soto was kicking towards the laces, so really not a good fundamental hold right there from Sam Martin.
We'd like to recognize Bush's
so the defense is going to have to take over here as the Weiss Wolves are going to take over from their own 20-yard line. It'll be Jackson Sandlin getting things going for the Wolves. He is 24 out of 67, completion percentage of 35.8%, 287 yards, a touchdown, and 3 interceptions for the junior. Running back in motion, the give is to him. He's going to push outside. He's met by a bunch of Grizzlies to start. It's Brian Creel in at the tackle.
Looks like that was Callan Robles for the Weiss Wolves.
Tackle made on the play by Grizzly Ryan Creel.
So no gain on the play. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the Wolves.
Running the ball for the Wolves, Calvin Rogers, number 22.
Calvin Rogers.
Bringing up 2nd down.
So Rogers still in the backfield. Receivers split, 2 to each side. Quarterback back to throw as that ball is short as it skipped in front of the receiver, number 4, Stuart Miller. 3rd down coming up for the Wolves.
Yeah, pretty simple right there. It just didn't look like Sandlin got enough on it. It never really made it. It looked like it was designed wide receiver screen.
Jackson. Sandlin's pass incomplete on the play. Bring up 3rd down and 12.
3rd down and 12 for the Wolves. See if this Grizzly defense can have a quick 3 and out and get the ball back. Shotgun snap for Sandler. He's back to pass. He fumbles it. The ball's on the ground. He finally gets to it, and it is James Francis Daiku to bring him down at the 10-yard line. So a loss of 8 on the play, and that'll bring a 4th down.
Exactly what you want as a defense coming out. You're on their side of the field. You want to keep them there, and you make them lose 10 yards. It's exactly how you want to draw it up. Great stop right there by the defense.
So 3 and out go the Weiss Wolves, and they will be back to punt. And kicker will be kicking from his own end zone, or at least right in front of it. And snap is up and is almost blocked. It's a line drive kick. Martin takes it at the 43-yard line. He's bouncing outside. He's getting to the 30, to the 20, 25 inside, and he's going to get brought down at the 12-yard line. A 32-yard return for Sam Martin.
Yeah, again, I think you predict. I think I just came up here and took a look at your notes. I mean, Sam Martin already has over 40 yards returning, has put the Glenn offense in great position to score. Weren't able to capitalize on that last drive.
So last drive, Glenn stalled as they got into the red zone quickly. They had a big 31-yard pass to Nate Hatter, and then a horse collar tackle that tacked another 15 yards. So they picked up 46 yards in that one play, got inside the red zone. Corn Thompson unable to turn the corner, and they settled for a field goal attempt that was wide left for Pedro Soto. So here they are again inside the 10-yard line. The give is to Morris. He's going to bounce, and he's met by a bunch of Weiss Wolves right there, and he's going to get pushed back into the backfield, and he's actually going to lose a couple on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it earlier, but so far the offensive line for Glenn, they've been so good all season, haven't been able to really push through and open up any gaps for Morris or Slade.
Anthony Apodaca in on the stop for Weiss. He wrapped up, textbook wrapped up Morris right there for the loss. So 2nd 11 for Glenn. They need the 1-yard line for the first down. McGuire back to pass. He's looking, and Henderson drops the ball on a slant comeback route. So it's going to bring up 3rd down. So the Grizzlies looking a little shaky in offense to start things off.
Yeah, not the start they wanted to get off to immediately. I mean, we've seen this team time and time again start off the game explosive, really balanced, picking up gains in chunks, and they haven't been able to do it so far, and we're still 7:50 left to go in the first quarter.
Absolutely. So no score here. Week 5 for the Glen Grizzlies as they take on the Pflugerville Weiss Wolves. Be 3rd down and 11 from the Wolves' 11-yard line. They bring Thompson in motion. He's going to go right to left. McGuire back to pass. He rolls out to his right. He's looking for somebody, and he's got a touchdown as he finds Sam Martin right in front of the end zone. He rolls in for a touchdown, an 11-yard touchdown. Drew McGuire to Sam Martin, and the Grizzlies lead 6-0.
Almost like the catch right there. We didn't see the designed receiver for McGuire. He just rolled out. It seemed like he threw it up, and he was right there. And we always talk about Martin having the good hands. We're showing him off right there.
Absolutely. So Martin's getting involved a lot. 2 great returns so far, and he comes up with the big touchdown catch as Soto's kick is up, and it is good. So the Grizzlies lead 7-0 with 7:42 left to go in the first quarter. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Vype Media is the state's most comprehensive high school sports media outlet covering UIL, private schools. Vype has been in Texas for over a decade. Visit their website at Vype, VYPE-Texas.com. And also pick up your Vype magazine today. Get in the game with Vype Media.
This is linebacker Lee Pollock, and you're listening to Grizzlies football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Just like they drew it up, EJ. 3 plays, 18 yards, and the Grizzlies get a touchdown with 7:42 left to go in the first quarter. They lead at 7-0 here. As Soto is preparing to kick off from his 40-yard line. We'll now be going right to left on your radio as Soto's kick. It is a short one, and it is fielded at the 30-yard line. And the receiver's going to go all the way out to the left. He's going to break a tackle to the 40, 45, midfield, and he's going to get pushed out of bounds by Jamal Johnson at the Grizzly 42-yard line.
Sarah
Return by number 5
was on the return for the Wolves. He just broke outside, and it looked like Glenn was lucky to even stop him, but good field position coming up for the Wolves.
Caught the ball at the 30, ran all the way across towards his own sideline, then cut up field, and he had a couple lanes, and he got all the way to the Grizzly 42-yard line. So a 28-yard return, and the Wolves will take over inside the Glen territory with 7:33 left to go in the first quarter. Back is in motion. They give it to Rogers. He's rolling out. He's got a hole, and he's brought down by Brian Creel, who stopped what could have been a big play on the outside.
I mean, he was running with a full head of steam, and we were getting ready to see how he was going to go down the sideline, but a good stop by Creel, and Creel is such a good tackler.
So a 1 yard pickup on the play by Rogers. It'll bring up 2nd down and 9 for the Wolves. As Jackson Sandlin is looking into his sideline, trying to get a play going. So you got Kobe McCoy in the backfield now. Rogers in motion. They fake the gift to him, and Sandlin's going to take it up the middle. It's Brian Creel again in the backfield. This time they're going to lose 2 yards on the play.
You know, I'm starting to think that Creel should just put a bed right there and start living in the backfield, because he has been in there every single week, and back-to-back plays right there. Good stop for this defense. Let's see if they can capitalize.
Third down for the
Third and long. They got to fix the scoreboard. It has 3rd and 44. We're about 3rd and 14.
44-yard line.
For the Weiss Wolves, and they're staring in at Coach Tommy Altman, again, first-year head coach for the Pflugerville Weiss Wolves. So Jackson Sandlin's got his call. He's got Kobe McCoy with him in the backfield. Shotgun snap. He's back to throw. He's looking. He's getting out of the pocket. He's going to roll. He's going to take off for himself, and it's Brian Creel again with the stop. He is everywhere. What a big stop by Brian Creel.
Again, Brian Creel on the tackle.
Creel by himself, always doing it. 3 straight plays where Creel is in on the tackle. It's a huge stop right there for the linebacker, but it doesn't look like Weiss right now is committed to punting the ball.
They're going to go for it again, but Jackson Sandlin, he had that outside lane. Look, he was going to run for it, and Brian Creel cut him off immediately. 3 straight stops for the senior linebacker, number 33. So they're going to go for it on 4th down now. 4th and 8 for the Wolves. Jackson back to pass. He's going to throw, and ball's almost picked off by Cody Bagwell in coverage. Pass intended for number 4, Stuart Miller. And the Grizzlies will take over on downs here with 5:36 left to go in the first quarter. Grizzlies leading 7-0.
Yeah, it was a great stop by the defense right there. Now the offense really has to try to get into a rhythm and try to get those chunk yardage plays that we're used to seeing them.
That was
it looked
Cody
like they were
Bagwell
trying to
bringing
just
up the pass.
run inside, run outside, run outside. Run that ball up the middle. Let Slade and let Morris get going instead of trying to run on the outside. Let's see what they do now. This is the 3rd drive for the Glen Grizzlies as they take over at their own 40-yard line. Shamir Nichols in the game. He's in motion. They give it to him. He's going to bounce, turn upfield. He's going to get to the 45-yard line. So a quick 5-yard gain on the counter by Shamir Nichols.
Yeah, it's great to see Shamir Nichols trying to get into the game. It's great to see Shamir Nichols try to get into the game early. We saw him go for a touchdown in that last game. Maybe he's going to start to be a guy that they'll turn to.
But this is what we mentioned last week. You get your chance late in the game, you do well. You'll get reward, and you'll come in early on. So 2nd and 5 for the Grizzlies at their own 45. They need midfield for the first down. Julian Morris in at running back, and they'll give it to him. He's bouncing around. He's pushing his way through, and he's going to gain maybe a yard on the play. They'll mark him down at the 47-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup, 3rd and 3 for the Grizzlies.
This Weiss defensive front has been so good early, and maybe something we weren't expecting with their defense has been the strength of this team, though only giving up 19 points last week to Bastrop. They're doing a much better job up front than we previously anticipated.
Absolutely. They got some big size up front. You can see it from here. So 3rd and 3 for the Grizzlies. They need midfield for the first down. Nichols again in motion. They'll fake to give to him. They'll give it this time to Lamont Slade, and he is brought down immediately by a bunch of Weiss Wolves. There's going to be a big loss on that one. What a defensive play by the Grizzlies. We're still trying to figure out what's going on with Weiss. We don't have a roster to figure out the numbers and names, but a very impressive start for this Weiss Wolves defense in this front 7.
Yeah, that front 7 is going toe-to-toe with Glenn's front 7, which has been so impressive all year.
So they'll actually give him forward progress, and they'll say no gain. So Lamont Slade, no gain on the play, as it'll be 4th and 3. And Grizzlies getting ready to punt. This time it's going to be Corin Thompson out to punt. And the punt is blocked. It's blocked by a Weiss player.
Cameron Cavalier was on the block for Weiss, and it looked like there was no urgency that was made by Glenn. It looked like he kicked it right into his face mask.
Looked like Corin Thompson was going to maybe do a drop kick as he was kind of leaning towards the left side, and he wasn't able to get it off. So a block punt by Weiss, and they're going to take over from inside Grizzly 20-yard line.
Absolutely worst case scenario if you're Glenn. You talked to Coach Shanefield this week that they haven't won yet, but you don't want to be the first one, and they will come up and bite you if they can. And it looks like they're trying to spoil it right here.
So ball's at the 20-yard line as the give is to Rogers. No, it's Jackson. He fakes it, and he's met by a bunch of Grizzlies this time. And it's Lee Pollock in on the stop, and Callan Guyton to stop things for the Wolves.
Yeah, it's going to be important for this defense to keep trying to bail out their offense. I mean, we talk about it all the time, picking each other up, and this defense has to make a play right here.
So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Wolves, as Jackson Sandler has Kobe McCoy split with him in the backfield. Sandlin back to pass. He's throwing across the field, and he was looking for Rodgers, and the pass was short. It'll bring up 3rd down for the Wolves. As Jackson unable to connect with any of his receivers so far. That ball's coming out, and it's just not getting enough on it.
Yeah, really difficult right there for Jackson Sandlin to get the ball out, and he's seen that struggle so far in these first 3 drives.
3rd and 13 for the Wolves from the Grizzly 28. They need the Grizzly 15-yard line for a first down. Sandlin looking in at his bench for a play. Right now, you got DeMarcus Martinez in the game at running back for the Wolves this time. Sandlin back to pass, and he's looking downfield, and it's picked off. The ball is picked off by the Grizzlies. Trying to figure out who it is, but a great play nonetheless. It's like it might be Isaac Armijo in on the play, and a flag goes down late as we got a lot of stuff going on between Weiss and Glenn. But nonetheless, the Glenn defense coming up with a turnover on the play.
Yeah, again, I just mentioned it right there. The defense always finds a way to come up and bail the offense out, and you don't want to think of it like that, but with the way the offense is playing right now, the defense needed to make a play, and they came up big right there.
It was actually Isaac Armijo in with the interception, so a big turnover for the Grizzlies, and now they get the ball back, and there's a flag down on the play now as the referees are getting together to try to figure out what's going on with this play.
After the play's over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 77 of Weiss. Still be first down.
So unsportsmanlike conduct by number 77 of Weiss.
So Tassie LeVay, the junior guard for the Wolves, and that will prove costly as it will move Glenn already almost up to midfield.
So you're trying to figure out the original spot of the play so they can move the ball. Again, great interception by Isaac Armijo. And another turnover by this Glenn defense as they're going to move this ball all the way to the Glenn 46-yard line. So the Grizzlies will take over with 2:58 to go left in the first quarter from their own 46-yard line. Martin Henderson out to the right. Nate Hatter in at tight end. He's out to the left along with Jarvis Henderson. They're waiting for them to start play, and they will now. Slade in at running back in the backfield. McGuire back to pass. He's looking for Nate Hatter. He has him across midfield, and he's going to be out of bounds in Weiss territory as he gets to the 47-yard line. So a pickup of 7 on the play for the tight end.
Yeah, the tight end is going to be huge in this game, especially if this running game is stunted the way they've been stopped so far. 2:53 left to go in the first quarter. It's not like these are just the first 2 drives. You're on your 4th drive, so you have to start getting something going. If it goes through Nate Hatter, then so be it.
2 catches, 38 yards for the tight end. Julian Morris back in at running back. He's in the backfield with Drew McGuire. Shotgun snap to him. And he's looking to go downfield. He's got Jarvis Henderson across the 30-yard line inside the 25 for a first down. What a play by Drew McGuire.
Number 20,
yeah, Drew McGuire right there, staying calm in the pocket, letting the play develop, and he meets him across the middle. Great pass right there by McGuire.
A 26-yard pickup for Jarvis Henderson. His first catch of the day. McGuire now gives to Morris. He's going to push his way through, and he's got some positive yardage as he gets out to the 17-yard line. So pick up a 4 for Julian Morris.
Running between
Morris is the bruiser. I mean, we talk about it every single week. He's the guy that gets the drive started, and usually it's Lamont Slade that comes in and finishes it off. They're a great 1-2 punch on the ground.
That'll be a gain of 5 yards.
So Thompson and Henderson out to the left. Martin, the lone back on the right. McGuire back to pass again. He's looking for the end zone as he's looking for Corey Thompson in the back of the end zone.
Drew McGuire fake pumping, throwing deep.
Good on that one.
Yeah, that coverage by Mason Reyna, the junior cornerback. He covered him the entire way and tried to run that interception. Wasn't able to do it. Good coverage on that last play.
So 3rd and 5 now for the Grizzlies as they're looking to try to put some more points on the board. They're leading at 7-0 here with 2:02 left to go in the first quarter. They got a big 3rd down coming up. The ball is at the Weiss 17-yard line. They need the 12 for the first. McGuire rolling out to his left. He looks. He's got Henderson inside. to the 10. He's fighting his way to try to get to the 10-yard line, and he does. Jarvis Henderson with some amazing moves after the catch. He gets the ball down to the 10-yard line. A pickup of 7 and a first down for the Grizzlies.
That was a good job right there, and that was just simple grit right there. I mean, nothing fancy, no fancy play call. The play was executed, but he picked up the first down and was showing real fight right there, knows where the offense is and what he needs to do to try to help this offense get going.
Grizzlies picking up the first down. He'll have first and goal from the 10-yard line. Hatter in the backfield along with Julian Morris and Drew McGuire. 3 wide receivers. Weiss looking to bring pressure. McGuire looking to change the play at the line of scrimmage. And he's back to pass. He's rolling out. He's looking. And he's got Nate Hatter inside the 10-yard line. He's pushed his way through and in for a touchdown. A 10-yard touchdown for Nate Hatter. And the Grizzlies lead 13-0 here with 1:20 left to go in the first quarter.
Hey, that was a great downfield block by the receiver on the far end. I'm trying to see who it is, but again, Hatter getting into it early, and that's what we asked for. And obviously, Coach Shanefield making that a point of emphasis this week to get his tight end in the game.
So Drew McGuire, 6 for 10, 96 yards and a touchdown as Pedro Soto puts the extra point in, and the Grizzlies lead at 14-0 here at AC Bible Stadium against the Pflugerville Weiss Wolves. So we'll be back after this on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
KMAX Sports is the largest online broadcast company in Central Texas. How large is that? We're like the biggest, most beautiful field of bluebonnets you can imagine. Except we're not going to play sports here because they're bluebonnets. What, are you crazy? We'll get some nice pictures before we go, though. Hey kids, just sit down over there. Yeah, right in the middle of them. Smile. Perfect. Well, we'll send this one to Grandma.
Additionally, Grizzly fans, want to mention the homecoming hoopla, October 19th.
This is Lamont Slade, running back.
44-yard touchdown for Lamont Slade as he went right up the gut.
And you're listening to Grizzly Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
All right, the Grizzlies taking control of this game as they lead
as
now
well as receiving shirt and
1:20 to go in the
register
first quarter.
online.
It's kicked by Pedro Soto.
Today
it is kicked back deep and is received at the 15-yard line. And receiver is there and he's down at about the 27-yard line. That was Dylan Kaufman in on the return for the Wolves.
Number 18, Dylan Kaufman,
pickup.
Receiving the kick and brought down.
All right,
and
now
the Weiss Wolves will take over at their own 26-yard line with a minute 50.
Ball going to be spotted at the 26-yard line.
Now, if you're the defense for Glenn, you have to try to keep. At this point, when you're playing so well in the first quarter, you got to still keep thinking about keeping Weiss off the scoreboard, not letting them hang around.
3 wide receivers out for Weiss on the right-hand side, another one on the left. And Tavian Cord is in at quarterback now, and he breaks one all the way across the 40-yard line as he takes the quarterback option, and he picks up 14 on the play. Tavian Corden at quarterback now. He's more of their option run guy.
Tavian Cord.
Yeah, you'll see Tavian Cord taking a lot out of the Wildcat. I mean, we see that a lot in the NFL. You see it with the Ravens, with Joe Flacco taking most of his actions, and they have a package for Lamar Jackson. Same kind of thing right here with Tavian Cord running out of the Wildcat, picking up a big chunk for this offense that has struggled to move the ball so far.
So Cord giving this Weiss offense a spark as Rogers is in on motion, and they'll fake the pitch to him. And Cord's got nowhere to go as a bunch of Grizzlies are in, and he is met at his own 38-yard line.
Keeping on the play.
2 yards on the play, and it'll bring up 2nd and 12 for
running
the Wolves.
into
2 rushes for 12 yards so far for Cord. A lot better than his counterpart Sandlin, who has 3 rushes for negative 6 yards.
That defense, Callan Guyton in on the stop, and then a bunch of Wolves came in to help him out. So Cord will still remain in the game at quarterback. 2nd and 12 from their own 38. They need midfield for the first down. And we've seen this all night from the Wolves, just trying to get communication from the sideline and see what play they're drawing up. So there's going to be a timeout called by Weiss. Oh, that's the end of the first quarter, excuse me. It's like they were trying to get on the same page and they couldn't, and then they finally just let the time run out, and the game clock had less to go than the play clock. So that's the end of the first quarter. The Grizzlies are leading it 14-0 here at AC Bible Stadium. We'll be back on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
At Austin Pets Alive, the mission is to promote and provide the resources, education, and programs needed to eliminate the killing of companion animals. That means more happy pets joining more happy families every single day. In fact, Austin Pets Alive has saved more than 25,000 dogs and cats since 2008, and you can help. Adopt a new family member, help out with a donation, or roll up your sleeves and volunteer. If you have love, time, or money to spare, and we all have at least one of those, you are needed. Visit AustinPetsAlive.com to get started. Austin Pets Alive, helping people help pets.
This is head football coach Rob Shainfeld, and you're listening to Grizzlies football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Start of the second quarter, Glen Grizzlies lead at 14-0 over the Weiss Wolves here at AC Bible Stadium in Leander, Texas. Tavion Cord still in at quarterback. He's going to have a second and 12. His own 38 as they bring Stuart Miller in motion. And they give it to him. He's going to roll to the outside across the 40, across midfield. And Noah Holmes is there to make the stop, but not before he picks up a first down.
Yeah, your guy Noah Holmes, him and Townsley always making tackles in the secondary, and it's up to them to try to make sure that Weiss can't stretch this field.
For a first down, tackled by number 3, Noah Holmes.
14 yards on the play and a first down.
Ball spotted at the 49-yard line of the Grizzlies.
Ball will be spotted on the Grizzly 49. So the Wolves are in Weiss territory, in Grizzly territory, trying to make something happen on offense as they're sticking with Tavion Corden at quarterback. Miller again in motion this time. They give it to him. He's going to bounce to the outside. He's going to lose some yardage as he is met by Lee Pollock and Brian Creel. So a loss of yards on the play.
I mean, who else would you expect to be in the backfield right there other than those two? Those two have been making plays all season.
In the backfield.
Some defensive substitutions for Glenn.
For a loss by number 33, Brian Creel, bringing up second down and 13 to go for the Wolves.
A loss of 3 on the play to bring up second and 13. Checking his wristband for some plays to call. Now Rogers is in motion for Weiss. He's going to run out to the right. Cord is back to pass. He's looking. He's throwing down the field, and it's just high of the receiver as it was just out of the reach of Callan Rogers. He's down on the play. He's a little injured.
Yeah, you never want to see that, and it looked like it was a little bit of an errant pass right there coming from Cord. Luckily, he is able to get up, though. It looks like he's going to come off of under his own power.
Curtis Meeks in on the play, not Rogers, excuse me. The ball was just thrown. He had some zip on it, just a little high, but you see the arm strength with Tavion Cord as he zipped that one down the field.
Yeah, that's the hard part about it being a quarterback. You never know when you need to put a ball in. You never know when you need to put a ball into the zone, and you never know when you need to use touch. That's the constant debate for quarterbacks on whether to use it.
She's going to bring up 3rd and 13 now for the Wolves. As this Glen defense is starting to turn itself up, be aggressive and make some great plays. So 3rd and 13 for Cord and the Wolves. He's back to pass. He's looking, surveying the field. He throws, and the ball's almost picked off as it was intended for number 10, Reed Reedland.
Cord's pass incomplete, intended for number 8. Jalen Sapner bringing up fourth down 13
for the Wolves as they are looking to punt now.
Dylan Coffin is punting for the Wolves and back deep for the Grizzlies, number 13.
So Kaufman is going to punt from his own 40-yard line. And looks like it was blocked by the Grizzlies, and they're going to meet Kaufman immediately as he was able to grab his own ball. And he's brought down aggressively at the Weiss 46-yard line, 47-yard line. So a block punt by the Grizzlies, and they're going to have great field position to start this drive.
Yeah, it was huge right there for the special teams. You get a block punted earlier on your side, but now you have to answer back. And that's what this team has done so well all season long, is when one team nicks you, they nick them even harder, and that's perfect right there. And huge field possession. The Grizzlies have to take advantage and try to make this a 3-score game.
Absolutely. So the Grizzlies are back on the field. We're going to see a different formation now. We got Shamir Neckles and Roderick Stubblefield out, split wide to the left with Sam Martin. So no Jarvis Henderson in on this drive. Lamont Slade is the running back. As they bring Nichols in motion, they fake it to him. And they're looking down the field, and it's caught. Sam Martin all the way inside, and another flag is down, but Sam Martin gets all the way down to the 15-yard line, so a big pickup if it stands.
Great time for this offense to start to get going as the second quarter is still 10 minutes and 25 seconds left to go. But Sam Martin, every single week, it looks like there's a different guy that they're going to go to through the air. And this week it looks to be Sam Martin, a guy who you are a really big fan of, the guy with the great hands. And he's doing a great job so far. We'll see if it stands.
Try to see what the referees are calling. And they are going to push this back. So it might have been a penalty at the end of the play. So the ball's going to be pushed back to the Weiss 28-yard line. So it's a 15-yard penalty after a 40-yard pickup for Sam Martin. So Drew McGuire, just like last week, picking up where he left off, slinging the football around. He's already got 136 passing yards in this one. So 1st and 10. And the give is to Lamont Slade. He's out. Shamir Nichols, he's running, trying to get his way through. Is he in for a touchdown? They say no. He is out at the 1-yard line. So Shamir Nichols,
just shy of the goal line.
7-yard run for number 27 and a 1st and goal for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, he got outside, and it was a really good job by him, really playing off of his tackle. His offensive line has done such a great job all year.
First down.
So 1st down for the Grizzlies as they're inside the 1-yard line. Nichols almost turned the corner to get in, but he was just pushed out of bounds. And it's Stubblefield and Slade in the backfield. And McGuire gives to Slade. He's pushing around. He's trying to get through, and he doesn't. He's met by a bunch of Weiss Wolves, led by number 36, Demetrius Gardner, in on the stop. So this Weiss front, they can make some stops against the run.
Yeah, this up front, they're doing a great job, and especially with the way the Glens run the ball all season long. It's a good job of them. They're plugging their gaps and not letting them get anything in between the tackles.
No gain on the play. 2nd and goal from the 1. Morris now slides his way through, and looks like he is not in. And a flag is on the play. They might call
Legal
offsides.
formation, 5 in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
Illegal formation in on the play on Corin Thompson. So he was moving a little bit early, didn't come to a full stop, so they're going to move this ball back now. It's another setback for the Grizzly offense. They're pushed back now to the 6-yard line, so they'll lose 5 on the play. 2nd and goal from the 6.
Yeah, you never want penalties to try to keep you from getting in the end zone. Makes it a little harder on your offense, but they still got to bear down and try to see if they can get back in the end zone.
Thompson in motion. They fake to give to him. McGuire rolls out. He's looking to pass. He's under pressure, and he's got to throw the ball out of bounds. As this Weiss team, they've been getting
Drew McGuire's pass incomplete, intended for number 7, Nate Hatter.
That's Marcus Lyons.
Bring up 3rd down.
Christian Hamilton.
3rd down and goal.
Yeah. Juan Ellis even tried to make an attempt to intercept that. Just came a little bit short, but the offense has to try to get in right here because they haven't been doing a great job on 3rd down. The 3rd down has been a bugaboo so far for the Glen Grizzlies.
3rd and goal from the 6-yard line for the Grizzlies. They're looking to add to their 14-point lead. 9:18 left to go in the 2nd quarter. As Martin is now in motion. McGuire back to pass. He's looking across the field. He's got Nate Hatter who can walk right into the end zone for his 2nd touchdown of the game. A 6-yard touchdown pass to tight end Nate Hatter.
For 6
and
points.
The Grizzlies lead it 20 to
number
9.
7.
You know, one of our
Nate Hatter.
Yeah, one of our keys to the game was get Hatter involved. I mean, they've answered the call on that for sure. Hatter being the leading receiver so far for Drew McGuire. He's doing a great job so far. Usually the blocking tight end the last 2 weeks. Coming back in, making some big catches. 20-0 Glen Grizzlies.
4 catches, 54 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
And it's up,
tight end.
and it's good. Bring the score to 21.
Extra point is good.
To 0.
And that will give it 21-0 lead with 9:11 left to go in the 2nd quarter. Alan Spada, EJ Sanchez, Mitchell Paget with you from Bible Stadium in Leander. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with the ensuing kickoff after this.
Purchase a copy of this or any KMAC broadcast for personal use, and portions of the proceeds go to your school. Whether you're making a highlight video or just want to be able to enjoy this game years in the future, send us a note to info@kmacsports.com. That's info@kmacsports.com. We can even do some editing for you for a small fee. Purchase any broadcast for personal use. Hit us up. info@kmacsports.com. Bringing your teams and your highlights to you. We are KMAC Sports.
This is Lamont Slade, running back.
44-yard touchdown for Lamont Slade as he went right up the gut.
And you're listening to Grizzly Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
So Drew Maguire, just like last week, 80% right now. He's
Co-captain.
9 for 12 for 42 yards. And he's got
Program captain.
2 passing touchdowns, both of them to the tight end. 3 passing touchdowns, excuse me. As he's got 2 to Nate Hatter and 1 to Sam Martin. So another 3 touchdowns for Drew Maguire, who should probably lead the district after this game. As the kickoff is received at the 31-yard line, and Noah Holmes in on coverage makes the tackle immediately at the 30-yard line. Great play on special teams by that safety, Noah Holmes.
We always talk about Noah Holmes and Townsley being the enforcers on that defense. And on special teams, we see them flying around every single week. It seems like nobody gets off a good return against this Grizzlies special teams. That's a credit to how well this coaching staff helps them cover.
Thank you to
Absolutely. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Weiss at their own 30-yard line. 9:08 to go in the second quarter. Sandlin back in at quarterback as he's going to give to Cord. And Cody Bagwell in on the tackle as it was actually number 23, DeMarcus Martinez.
Number 23 for the Wolves, carrying the ball. DeMarcus Martinez brought down by number 19, Cody Bagwell
2 yards
of the Grizzlies.
They're going to put the ball at the 27-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup for Martinez.
The Wolves are facing a 2nd and 13.
So it looks like it was a loss of 3 right there for Martinez.
Sandlin gets the snap. He's back to throw. He quickly hits. Receiver who drops it inside at the 15-yard line. As the ball was thrown to number 15 on the play.
Sandlin's pass incomplete to Joseph Robertson.
Chris Cervantes in.
Number 15.
Cervantes right there. Just dropped the ball.
Bring up 3rd and 13 for the Wolves.
Yeah, this offense for Weiss hasn't been sharp. You've seen some drop passes. You've seen some throws that haven't even been close. I mean, if we're being honest. So, I mean, they're going to try to look for a spark, and that spark may come from Tavion Cord, who has been a spark for them in the quarterback position.
Absolutely. So Sandlin back to pass on 3rd and 13. He needs his own 40-yard line as he throws deep. Intended again for Cervantes. This one was out wide. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Joseph Robinson, the intended receiver on the play.
Bring on the punting
pass
again.
incomplete.
I mean, this offense,
that'll bring up 4th down.
Defense is just firing on all cylinders right now through coverage, in the trenches, and these linebackers of Polak and Krill. They're doing a great job so far, keeping the Wolves really from getting any sort of field position or any yardage. This offense needs to try to put away the Wolves here on this next drive.
Absolutely. So 4th and 13. As we were waiting the punt by Kaufman.
Here.
He kicks the ball, he gets it off, and Sam Martin is looking to catch it at his own 44-yard line. He's trying to break a tackle, and he is brought down immediately by number 21 of the Wolves. That is Dion Wilson in on the tackle. So a little shake and bake by Sam Martin, and Dion Wilson read it all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, you got to give credit to this Wolves team where it's due. They came into this game not really having a whole lot of strengths, all around. But this team has really shown up, and they've done a great job, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, you see 21 points, but that's because they've had a much shorter field to work with. So if you see them, you see that this team does have, and they have been improving for the rest of the season.
So the Grizzlies will take over from their own 43-yard line. Drew Maguire back to pass. He hits Corn Thompson, who's going to get out to the 45-yard line. So a pickup of 3 to Thompson.
Maguire's pass complete.
Yeah, he was running around right there by Sarah Dwayne Sasa, the outside linebacker, the junior.
Second catch of the day for Thompson. He's got 2 catches for 7 yards.
Dwayne Sasa. Bring up 2nd and 7 for your Glen Grizzlies.
So the Grizzlies need the Weiss 48 for a first down. 8:04 left to go in the second quarter. Grizzlies 21-0 over Weiss. Maguire rolls out to his left. He's looking to throw, and he throws wide, looking for Sam Martin as the ball was off target. That'll bring up 3rd
Maguire's pass incomplete on the play.
Reed Ryland was on the coverage right there. Oh, excuse me, that's Edric Whitley, the junior cornerback, 5'10", 150. So he has some decent size on there, covering one of the best receivers over there for Glenn.
On their 45-yard line.
So 3rd and 7, we see what Glenn can draw up. They've been able to convert on 3rd down lately. I'm looking for Jarvis Henderson maybe across the middle of the field on a little slant and go.
Looks like we might see Hatter. He's in the slot.
Snap is to McGuire. He's back to pass. Pressure coming. He's on the run. He's looking. He's trying to get something. And he's going to run out of bounds at his own 48-yard line. So a pickup of 3, and it'll bring up 4th and 4 for the
McGuire
Grizzlies.
keeping the ball on the play.
See what they do with it.
Yeah, if you look back at that play, you see Hatter. He was calling the ball from the entire time from McGuire, and it looks like him and McGuire are having a conversation right now. I mean, you've seen Nate Hatter, and you've seen the way he operates. He wants the ball as much as he can get it if it means that he'll be making a play for his team. Ultimate team guy, and it looked like he wanted McGuire to give him a shot to try to make something happen right there. It wasn't to come.
Timeout.
It looks like Coach Shanefield is going to call a timeout. So far, Julian Morris, 2 carries, 6 yards. Corin Thompson, 2 carries, -4 yards.
We'd like to
Shamir
recognize
Nichols,
Bush's Chicken.
2 rushes, 32 yards, 27 of them coming on one of those plays, and then a 3-yard scamper just now for Drew McGuire. So this offense is not running the ball right now like they're used to. See if they can try to get something going moving forward, establish the run.
Well, I mean, I feel like we're a little bit spoiled after what we saw last week. I mean, over 500 yards of total offense. Obviously, repeating that is a very difficult task, and obviously, on the ground at least, the Weiss defense has done a good job, especially up front, of containing the run and not letting the offensive linemen get downfield for those big yardage plays that we're used to seeing Morris and Slade and Thompson get.
That's what Coach Shanefield said. He knew what he saw on video. He said that they were going to play hard. He said they're going to beat somebody soon. And he said he just hopes it's not us. And I know we're kind of overreacting, or at least I am. It's 21-0, but they haven't been able to get this run game going at all. And these are things that that you have to work on and you have to keep going. So let's see if they can continue to build on this before the halftime and what adjustments they make going forward. But they haven't been able to get anything going in the run game.
I mean, you've talked to Coach Shanefield, and I know that it does sound like we're complaining, but he has high expectations for this offense. He is not okay with them just going through the motions. And I'm not saying they are by any account. I mean, this offense has put up 21 points, but he still would like to see a little bit more juice injected into that starting offense.
4th and 4 as they bring Morris in motion. He makes the play, and he's brought down short of the first down. So he's going to turn over on downs as it was number 8 in on the coverage. That was Jalen Sapenter in on the stop, and they had Morris on that swing pass, and he got brought down immediately by Sapenter.
Yeah, it looked like Morris went down as soon as he got taken out. His legs got taken out, so that was a good tackle, knowing how you have to bring down Morris. Morris is a huge bag, the bruiser on this offense for Glenn, so the only way to take him down is try to go low, and he did it right there. Very well executed right there by the Wolves.
So the Wolves again starting with great position. They're inside Grizzly territory, and Jackson Gibbs, he's going to hit to the outside. Looks like that's Kobe McCoy in on the run. He's going to get to the 43-yard line, so a pickup of 4 for McCoy.
I mean, this
second down and 6 for the Wolves.
Yeah, this defense continues to be dominant against an offense that has struggled at times throughout the season. And usually when you see a team like that, you start to go through the motions on the defense as well. You see no signs of that on the defensive side of the ball for the Grizzlies so far.
7-11 and counting. 2nd and 6 from the 44. Sandler back to pass. As he looks, he's got Rogers, and he's met immediately by Cody Bagwell, who was being blocked by Jacob Sampatter, and he still made the tackle.
I mean, Cody Bagwell, over the last 2 weeks, he gets inserted into the starting lineup last week. You don't know how he's going to perform. Comes up with an interception. And a big tackle, really a vicious tackle right there by Bagwell, doing his job and showing Coach Shanefield why he is a smart man for putting him into the starting lineup.
I mean, he was getting blocked downfield, and he was still able to grab the runner and bring him down. So a big stop. It'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Wolves.
Yeah, just a really athletic play made right there by Bagwell.
Wolves need the Grizzly 38 for the first down, and we're going to have a flag on the play.
For the snap, false start on the offense, number 75.
So false start on the offense by number 75. That's Jacob Moore, the guard, right guard for the Wolves. That's going to bring them back 5 yards and bring up a big 3rd down and 10 for the Weiss Wolves. Every time they try to get a drive going, something always stops them, whether it's a penalty or a drop pass. But this Wolves team, they're getting close, and you feel it happening for them.
Yeah, I mean, the Grizzlies have gotten lucky on a couple of them with some drop passes, and, I mean, got to take advantage of it.
So 3rd down and 11 for the 48. Sandler back to pass. He's looking to throw deep. He's got a receiver back. It's a little wide at the 15-yard line, as he was looking deep for Stuart Miller down the field, and the ball was just a little too far out of his reach.
Deep ball pass. Incomplete.
And even if he catches it, Noah Holmes was right there to make the stop. So Holmes was either going to stop him immediately or go over the top for the interception. So good coverage downfield.
So Dylan Coffin back to punt again for the Weiss Wolves.
That'll bring on number 10, Reed Ryland, to punt for the Wolves.
Low snap.
Kick, line drive kick, actually a good one. Because that's going to bounce, and it's going to take a Grizzly bounce into the end zone. I got a little worried there. The ball went up. Looked like it was going to take a Weiss bounce, but it takes a Grizzly bounce, and it's in for a touchback.
Would like to recognize St. David's
Grizzlies will take over from their own 20-yard line. So big punt there for Dylan Coffin to at least push this Grizzly team back into their own territory to start their next drive.
Yeah, 6 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Your Glen Grizzlies are currently up 21-0 over the Weiss Wolves here at AC Bible Junior Memorial Stadium. And the offense, I mean, you see 21 points, but you don't see at least the 150 yards rushing that we usually see up to this point.
So Nichols and Slade in the backfield with Drew McGuire. 1st and 10. Give it to Nichols. He changes direction. He pushes across the 20-yard line. He's going to get to the 22, so a 2-yard pickup for Shamir Nichols, and that'll bring up 2nd down and 8 for the Grizzlies.
I mean, you see usually when you see this offense working at its best, you see the chunks of 5, you see the chunks of 6 to 7, and today you're not seeing it. You're seeing a lot of 1, 2s, and 3s, and that is not a recipe for success, especially with the way Glenn likes to run its offense.
So now Julian Morris is in at back. They fake the give to him. They hit Nichols in the backfield. He's going to push across. He's fighting his way, and he's going to get all the way to the 25-yard line. Well, they'll say the 26, so...
Number 3, Ronald Caldwell making the tackle on number 27, Shamir Nichols.
So another pickup for Nichols.
3rd down for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, 3rd down.
3rd down and 4. Scoreboard just doesn't get updated. So 3rd down and 4. They're at the 26. They need their own 30 for the 1st down. Nichols and Slade in the backfield. They fake the give. They're looking for Nichols in the flat. Nothing going. And McGuire's going to take off and run for himself. And he's going to lose yardage on this play as he gets out of bounds at the 23-yard line. A loss of 3, and that'll bring up 4th down and 7 for the Grizzlies.
I mean, Alan, I wasn't here for the first game against Liberty Hill, so I wasn't able to see. I mean, obviously I read the stats, but I wasn't able to see the vibe and the feel of it. But thus far, with how many games that I've covered, it never has looked like this Glen offense has had this much lack of energy or juice. I mean, like we keep referring to.
Again, this is that Jimbo Fisher message: educating, winning, not looking at 0-4 and looking at this is a hungry team that's looking to get a win. As Thompson's going to go to a fake punt, and Thompson's going to run across. He's got a blocker in front of him. He's going to get out across the 35-yard line. So a fake punt for Corin Thompson. He picks up 12 and the 1st down.
And Grizzly fans, that'll be enough for what? A Grizzly.
That was huge right there. A really gutsy call right there by Coach Shanefield, knowing that his team needs a spark. That may have just come courtesy of Jarvis Henderson right there on that punt. And again, I was a little confused because it looked like he was going to be lax again, like the blocked punt where he didn't really see and he let the defenders get in his face. Right there, he let him get in his face, but then he broke off. And with his speed, there was no looking back. Huge spark right there for the offense. The offense needs to take advantage right here.
And great job by Trent Brown getting outside to open up that lane for Thompson to get the 1st down. So 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies. McGuire back to pass. The ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage by number 55.
Drew McGuire's pass.
Marcus Lyons
knocked down.
Junior defensive end.
By big number 55. Marcus Lyons on the play, bringing up 2nd down.
So 2nd down and 10 for the Grizzlies. As Marcus Lyons in on the tip pass at the line of scrimmage.
As this front 4 again for Weiss, making some plays and not letting Glenn get comfortable up front on the line of scrimmage.
So Grizzlies are bringing in an extra lineman. It's D lineman Callan Guyton in the game now to give a little bit of protection because this Weiss front is getting a lot of pressure. So you can tell probably a pass play coming up. 2nd and 10 from the 35. They need the 45 for a 1st down. McGuire gives to Morris. He's outside across the 40 to the 45 midfield. 45 of the Wolves territory.
That was Julian Thomas getting the edge.
Ball all the way inside of Wolves territory to the 44-yard line.
On the
a 21-yard pickup for Julian Morris.
Edric Whitley was on the tackle right there for the Weiss Wolves, and it looked like Morris was going to go all the way, but it looks like a good
that'll be enough for another Grizzly.
So first down for the Grizzlies. They have the ball inside of Wolves' territory at the 44-yard line. Big pickup for Morris. Slade in the backfield now. They give it to him. He's right up the gut across the 40, inside to about the 34-yard line. So a 10-yard pickup for Lamont Slade. Another first down for the Grizzlies. They're starting to get going.
Yeah, usually you see Lamont Slade go outside.
Carry of the game.
I know, it's really strange.
Another
We usually
first down,
see
but you're
Slade
going
come in
Grizzlies.
and try to set the tone, but he's been so far a second quarter running back.
Slade's still in there. They'll give it to him again. He's out across the 30, inside to about the 26
That was Lamont Slade
yard
again,
line, 27
right up
yard
the
line.
middle.
So a 7-yard pickup this time for Slade. 2 carries, 17
Bring
yards
up.
for the senior running
Second
back.
down.
Maybe this is by design from Coach Shanefield. Maybe letting
2 yards.
Nichols try to get some carries, maybe try to get him going. But
Less than
maybe
3 minutes
when that isn't
remaining in
working
the quarter.
exactly how you want it to, you bring in a guy like Slade who had 4 touchdowns last week.
Second down and 2. They need the Wolves 25 for the first down. Slade again to the outside. He's going to get the first down and more. He's inside the 20, inside the 10, inside the 5 for a touchdown.
Running off tackle
A
on play number 10,
27-yard
Lamont
touchdown
Slade.
for Lamont Slade.
That'll be
His
enough for a
7th rushing
Grizzly
touchdown.
touchdown.
And the
Bringing the
Grizzlies
score to
lead
27 points.
to nothing here in the second quarter with 2:41 left to go.
Yeah, nothing but green in front of him right there. Lead blocker. Great job by the offensive line getting downfield, making sure there's blockers ahead of them. And again, Glenn offense alive right here. 27-0 Glenn over the Weiss Wolves with 2:41 left to go here in the second quarter.
So we're waiting for where was Lamont Slade. He comes in on this drive, 3 carries, 44 yards, and a 27-yard touchdown. Grizzlies are up now 27-0.
Looks like the extra point was good, so it looks like it might be 28-0 from
There's a
Soto.
flag on the play. Let's see what the flag is. Grizzlies dominating in this one.
Special thanks to Marcos.
7-0. 2:41 left to go in the first half.
Referee's still conversing at about the
LASD
5-yard line on the
County
east end zone.
Bush's Chicken,
Those are going
Marcos
to pick up the
Pizza,
flag and not
and
call
Smile
anything.
Doctors.
As the head
We
referees out
appreciate
to
your
talk
support
to
to
Grizzly
our
head coach
programs.
Rob Shanefield. And they're trying to get on the same page and see what happened. Nonetheless, the Grizzlies will be set to kick off. Again, 4 touchdowns by the Grizzlies. The 7th rushing touchdown of the season for Lamont Slade, who was coming
Glen
into
High
today's
School
game with
Football
second
Booster
in the
Club would
district.
like to thank
in
all
rushing
booster
touchdowns with
sponsors
6.
for tonight's
Yeah,
game.
usually you see Lamont Slade in the red zone. He's usually the ones getting those carries, and it looks like it's Morris, the one that's usually carrying load all the way down the field. He's the bruiser, trying to get them those
All right,
big
student
chunk plays.
section,
But
that
Slade is
counts.
so
You
good in
lifted
between
loud
the
and
tackles,
proud.
and that's what makes him good in the red zone.
So Pedro set to kick off from his own 40-yard line. 3 returners back deep.
Kicking off for the Grizzlies, number 14, Pedro Soto.
Dylan Kaufman, Kobe McCoy, trying to see the other person on the wide left. It's a short kick returned at the 32-yard line, brought across to about the 41-yard line in Weiss territory. That was number 5 on the play. Saroa Dwayne Sasa and on the return on the short kick by Soto. So the Weiss Wolves will take over at their own 41-yard line, looking where the referee puts it down.
Yeah, Sasa has made a couple of plays on both sides of the ball
Take over on the right
for
hash
the
at
Weiss
the
Wolves.
41-yard line, first
So
and 10.
you wonder if Weiss will go back to what was working, and that was Tavion Cord in the Wildcat, and it looks like doesn't look like he's there right now.
No, it's Sandler in at quarterback and McCoy with him in the backfield. They give it to McCoy. He's going to bounce outside, and he maybe gets a yard or 2 as he's across the 40 to about the 43-yard line they'll give him. So a 2-yard pickup for Kobe McCoy. And that'll bring up
Handoff
second
number
down and
24.
8 for the Wolves.
Kobe McCoy.
Yeah, it's important for this defense right here to
Bring up
not
second
let
down.
them get any momentum going into halftime. And your offense is already starting to get into a rhythm. Now your job is to make sure that the Wolves don't think they can hang around this game for much longer.
2:08 and counting left to go as Jackson Sandlin is looking for the play from his sideline. 10 seconds on the play clock. 1:57 to go in the first half. Shotgun snap. They're going to get a false start on the play. Looks like it might have been number 60, Diego Cruz.
False start on the offense. 5.
So Diego
Down.
Cruz with the false start. So it's going to bring them back 5 yards. So second down and 12 for the Weiss Wolves.
Yeah, again, you see it whenever they get good field position or whenever they start to build some momentum. It's usually a flag or a drop pass, maybe a mishandled snap. Multiple things have gone wrong on the offensive side for the Weiss Wolves, and that's why they haven't really been able to get into a tempo or rhythm offensively.
Had 11 penalties last week against Bastrop. 2nd and 12 for the Wolves. Sandler looking to give to McCoy. He's running. He's out across the 35, so he's about to the 37-yard line. So a pickup of about 2. That'll bring up 3rd and long for the Wolves.
Number 24, the ball carrier, Colby.
Yeah, the clock's running right now, and you wonder if the Wolves are going to try to just let this play out and go into halftime and try to make some adjustments.
Tackle made by number
Petey
52.
Cervantes on the tackle.
Pedro Cervantes. That'll be 3rd and 7.
So the Wolves need the Grizzly 49-yard line for a first down. So 3rd and 13 upcoming for the Wolves. Sandlin's got 3 wide receivers and McCoy with him in the backfield. Rogers in motion. He goes out to the right. Snap. Sandlin back to pass. He's looking to throw across the field. And he just dropped right off of the hands of Jalen Sappinter. And it was right off his hands, right off his chest, bounced out. 4th down for the Wolves.
Looked like he got stung a little bit by it. Hit him right in between the numbers. And if you're a quarterback, Jackson Sandlin, that's exactly where you want to put the ball. Just receiver wasn't able to come up with the play. Now
gotta make plays.
On to punt.
Now 50 seconds left. We'll have to see what Coach Shanefield decides to do. If he's going to try to apply some pressure, just taking it at halftime with his lead and a healthy team at that.
So Dylan Kaufman back to punt for the Wolves. He tries to get a directional kick. Almost blocked again. Line drive off of the hands of Sam Martin, and it's going to be picked up by a Weiss defender. No, people still fighting for it. Does Glenn have the ball? As it was a line drive directly at Sam Martin. And the Wolves were all over the place on that one. It looks like they might have recovered the ball.
Glenn pointing towards their sideline. Weiss pointing towards there. Now no official signal yet from the officials. And it looks like it is Glenn ball.
That was a line drive punt by Dylan Kaufman, and I think it caught Sam
Glenn
Martin
recovers the loose ball.
Off guard because it
With it
bounced
being
right
spotted
off his chest
at
and the
the
shoulder
Glenn.
pads, and it took
25
a weird
yard
bounce.
line.
And Alec Townsley and these guys were there to try to recover it. But Weiss was there too, so the Grizzlies are able to get the ball.
Special
And
thanks
they'll start
to
their
Marco's
final
Pizza
drive with
for
the
supporting
first
Leander
half
ISD.
from their own 25-yard line. 39 seconds left to go. Grizzlies leading it 28-0 over the Weiss Wolves.
I'll have to see the offensive approach right here for the Grizzlies.
McGuire back to pass. He's got Stubblefield inside across the 30, and he's going to get out of bounds at about the 34-yard line. So Roderick Stubblefield coming in and getting a 9-yard pickup.
Number 11.
Said Joseph
Roderick
was the
Stubblefield.
free safety that came and pushed him out. A little bit of a smaller safety at 5'8".
2 catches, 49 yards for Stubblefield. Again, getting these younger Grizzlies involved, Stubblefield and Nichols. As
Bring up
Julian
second and
Morris
short
is in
for
at
the
running
Grizzlies.
back. 2nd and short for the
33 seconds
Grizzlies.
remain in the half.
From their own 34, they need the 35 for a first down. McGuire back to throw, surveying the field, looking to throw deep across the field, and looks like he's got who else but Shamir Nichols
McGuire's
at
pass
the
complete to number
46-yard
27,
line. So
Shamir Nichols.
19-yard pickup.
Seth Joseph again in on the tackle
And a
for
quick
the Wolves.
snap, and they kill the ball to stop the clock. So a quick spike by Drew McGuire after the big pickup by Shamir Nichols.
Interesting call right there with Glenn still having 2 timeouts. You would think that they would use one of them right there, but maybe Coach Shanefield has other plans and wants to save maybe one for a long field goal for Soto.
22 seconds. 22
So they
seconds.
changed the game clock to have 22 seconds as it was running off a little bit. So you had Roderick Stubblefield with the 9-yard swing, and then Shamir Nichols with the big pass up the middle for about 18 yards. So 165 passing yards for Drew McGuire in the first half with 3 touchdowns. 22 seconds left to go. They're at their own 47-yard line. Grizzlies trying to get some final points before the half. Morris in motion. Fake the gift to him. McGuire under pressure, rolling out, looking to throw, and he's going to throw out of bounds with 16 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, applying pressure right there was Marcus Lyons, the defensive tackle who's been in on multiple plays and been in the backfield all night for the Wolves.
20, Jarvis
It
Henderson.
seems like when the Grizzlies get outside, those DNs for the Wolves, they're able to get that pressure. They haven't really been getting anything up the middle. Everything's been
That'll bring up
they
third
run
down.
to the outside or roll out to the outside.
Yeah, a lot of speed off the edge so far for the Wolves.
So 2nd and 10 for the Grizzlies. 16 seconds left to go. Wire. Back to pass. He's looking. He's got a little bit of time. He's throwing across the field, and it's dropped, broken up, as the pass was intended for Jarvis Henderson across the middle of the field.
Yeah, rare drop right there for Henderson.
pass,
Usually he's known for how good of hands that
37,
Henderson has. Wasn't able to make the play right there.
Yep. 4th down. Back to kick. Number 5, Corin Thompson.
Corin Thompson is back to punt. So these Grizzlies, they've been trying to find a punter. At the beginning of the year, it was Brandon Spires. Then we saw Chase Dowden have a couple of punts. So now it is up to Corin Thompson, who's also the team's backup quarterback. Because he's not going to fake it this time, as he gets a nice punt. And it's going to be downed at the Wolves' 32-yard line. So a big punt for Corin Thompson. And the clock will roll and expire, as that is the end of the first half. The Glen Grizzlies will go into halftime with a 28-point lead. The Weiss Bulls will get the ball to start the third quarter. We'll have the bands for each team playing with you. We'll have Coach Shane Phil talking about educating winning from Jimbo Fisher and his program this week. And we'll give you some first half stats, recaps, and we'll preview the second half. All that on the other side of the break on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
The KMAX Sports Camp was so hot this summer, we're going to offer it again this coming December. That's right, 3 KMAX Sports Campers not only learned about sports broadcasting, but they're getting it done on the KMAX Sports Network as you hear this. You want your young one to learn, get hands-on experience, and possibly get involved? Middle schoolers, high schoolers, and adults are welcome. We'll hold 3 sessions in December, including 2 over Christmas break. Call us for more information at 512-338-1111, extension 100. That's 512-338-1111, extension 100. The KMAX Sports staff, with over 100 years of combined broadcast experience, will give each camper personalized guidance on getting into and advancing a career in sports broadcasting. Campers will be provided water, camp t-shirt, and a sample of their work. And just like high school sophomores Jace Andrews, Blake Herrera, and E.J. Sanchez, the best campers may get an opportunity to intern and possibly work with KMAX Sports. Call us for information, 512-338-1111, extension 100, or email us info@kmaxsports.com. The KMAX Sports Camp, the best way to get in the game. This is Kevin McAdams. You know, from the McAdams Company Creative. We love to make commercials. Let us make yours. Yep, that's me. Well, my voice is amazing and does sound wonderful. I've been given to understand that every once in a while, y'all might want to hear somebody different. So I went out and recruited some guys. So first, I'd like to introduce Blake.
Good afternoon. My name's Blake Herrera, and my voice will make you feel safe on an airplane.
This guy over here, this is Steve.
Hi, I'm Steve. True story. When I was in college, girls used to love it when I read their textbooks to them.
And I'm Kevin, and my voice makes women want to buy new cars. Let's talk about what we can do for you. Reach out to me by phone or text 512-653-9491. Or check me out online at themcadamscompany.com. I'm Kevin McAdams with the McAdams Company Creative. No longer working alone. I love to make commercials. Let me make yours.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
$28-0 Grizzlies lead as we get into the half. 278 total yards for the Grizzlies. Drew McGuire, 12 for 17 for 165 yards, 3 passing touchdowns. 2 of those to the tight end, Nate Hatter, who is leading all receivers right now with 4 catches for 54 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rondrick Stubblefield, 2 catches, 49 yards. Julian Morris, 1 catch, 2 yards. Sam Martin, 1 catch, 11 yards, a touchdown catch at that. Corin Thompson's got 2 catches for 7 yards, and Jarvis Henderson's got 2 catches for 33 yards. On the running side, Julius Morris, 3 rushes for 27 yards. Lamont Slade, 3 rushes, 44 yards and a touchdown. Corin Thompson, 3 rushes, 8 yards. Shamir Nichols, 3 rushes, 34 yards. And Drew McGuire, 2 rushes for no yards. So 14 carries, 113 yards rushing on the ground, and 165 passing. So 278 total yards. Not the best of first half, but we just saw them stall on a lot of drives and weren't able to connect the way we're used to seeing them connect.
Yeah, and it was weird. And Coach Shanefield looks like he's steering a little bit away from what he usually does, and that's usually playing the hot hand. Whoever breaks out for a big run usually is the guy that stays in next. And I just heard you listen to the stats. I didn't look at the stats before you started, and all I heard was 3 rush, 3 rush, 3 rush. And usually by this time you see the 7 or 8s usually produced by the offense, and like one guy who's usually running well, and the offensive line really is doing a good job in front of him. We haven't seen that so far tonight. We've seen each guy get an equal number of snaps. Maybe that's by design, maybe it's not. But what usually we see is Coach Shanefield playing to his team's strength and playing the hot hand.
Absolutely. So, again, we saw some big carries. He had a 21-yard carry by Julian Morris, a 27-yard carry. That was a touchdown for Lamont Slade, a 27-yard for Shamir Nichols, a 12-yard for Corin Thompson. So all these backs, they've got their big carry, but we just haven't seen anybody kind of get in a rhythm and take the reins of this committee so far in this game. But, again, they are in cruise control. They are up 28-0 at the half, well on their way to their third win of the season, third win in a row. We've seen some good things from the Weiss Wolves, but they just kind of keep stepping on their own feet every time they kind of get a drive going, whether it's a false start penalty, a drop pass. They just can't kind of get going.
Yeah, something I was really surprised about and something that was working was the work of Tavion Cord, who seemed to be their Wildcat quarterback. I mean, Jackson Sandlin has 6 incompletions already, and when we see something like that, usually we're looking for a spark, and he provided a spark. He had a couple runs for about 14 yards. I mean, not like huge, but it was enough to get their offense going in a tempo. They were moving positive plays against that front seven for Glenn that's been so good all year. So that's something I'm wondering if they'll come back to in the second half. See if maybe they can get their kind of spark going and see if they can try to get some points against this defense, who's played phenomenal, by the way, not trying to take anything away from the defense.
23 minutes and 40 seconds left until the second half. We got a halftime show going on now. Weiss Wolves are doing an amazing job. Their band is out there. As always, when the Glen Grizzlies get on the field, we will play that audio for you so you can hear this awesome Glen Grizzly band. We spoke to Coach Shanefield during the week, and he talked about Jimbo Fisher educating winning and how he's going to implement that for his program. So let's hear Coach Shanefield on educating winning for the Grizzly program.
And he said, we played our worst game of the year. Sometimes it's great in your development that you win ugly, and I believe in that 100%. And he said, we got to educate winning around here, meaning when we're better than the other team, don't play at a level that allows them to hang around. We've been guilty of that some in the past, and that wasn't necessarily the case last Friday against Elgin, I don't think, but we still made too many mistakes when the door could have been slammed really tightly shut early in the third quarter, for example, and we mistake on special teams or something, that potential big play, miss a tackle on a hitch and the guy runs for 60 yards. I mean, that's the time when you got to just step on the gas pedal more, is when you have a chance to just close the door on someone and lock it shut. And we got to learn how to do that. And I'm not saying that we'll get any more opportunities to do that because we play good people. I mean, that was a good result for us last week, but that's not going to be guaranteed. In fact, it's pretty likely it won't be that way most times. So considering that, how do you prepare after a big victory for the next one? Because if you think you got it all figured out, the fall is coming. If you want to get too prideful about what is in your rearview mirror and what you did, the fall is coming. So that's what we tried to focus on this week is, and they heard it a lot from myself and the rest of the coaches, is, hey, what we did last week was awesome for last week. It's done. Don't believe what you see on social media. Don't believe. I mean, it's nice to be recognized on television and KView Game of the Week and all that stuff is really, really cool, and we appreciate it and we're grateful for that level of coverage. But we don't have anything figured out yet. We got to keep on working. It's a weekly, daily struggle to get better.
So that was Coach Shanefield, and he made a lot of great points about this team getting the coverage that they get, big 62 points, fan stand and KView and everybody talking about Glenn, KXAN talking about Glenn on the news, and how this program is really surprising some people. But they still got to work hard. You don't get any trophies for week 4 being 2-2 or winning one district game. He knows how long this season can be. Coach Shanefield has experience at Cedar Park, so he knows what it's like to go deep into a state tournament, and he thinks the team has a talent, but they still have to work hard, and they still have to be improving every week.
Yeah, I mean, this team has done a great job all season, and that's the thing I love, is that coming into this year, not a lot of people thinking that maybe they're saying, hey, they have a shot to make the playoffs, and that would be great for the program in its first year of district football. This team has other plans other than that. And they're not even going just for the straight district championship. They want to make a run deep into November, and that's every team's goal. But usually, not a lot of teams have the resiliency or the talent to do that. But we see this with the Glen team. We talk about all the time off the air that this team is a lot better than most people give it credit for. But it's really exciting to watch and see how much they progress week to week.
Absolutely. So this team, again, 278 yards in the first half, 28 points. Looking ahead to next week, they have a meeting next week. I believe it's against the Bastrop Bears. It'll be a road game for the Grizzlies. They'll have Bastrop next Friday on October 12th, and then after that they have Eastview, a home game here at Bible Stadium on October 19th, and they go to Marble Falls. That'll be a big drive for us on October 26th. Then the last two games of the regular season will be Brenham at home on November 2nd, and then again at Bastrop. Might have had that wrong. I think this Cedar Creek.
Cedar Creek is the one we're going to next week. So they'll take on the Cedar Creek Eagles next week, and then they'll take on Bastrop in the season finale. And then a district where you can do some damage. This team has a lot of plans, and not to just have a winning record. They want to try to run the table, and they're clearly capable of doing it if they can continue to be that solid on both sides of the ball.
Absolutely. So, as always, we have to shout out one of our Title I sponsors, Dreamfinder Homes, now building homes from the mid-200s. This community is the perfect location for growing close with nature, living a healthy lifestyle, and creating memories with friends and family. Conveniently located along Austin's North Corridor, Orchard Ridge has easy access to the Leander Independent School District and many of Austin's entertainment hubs. Come check out this perfect place to call home today. Brought to you by Dreamfinder Homes. Homes built to fit your lifestyle. Visit DreamfinderHomes.com/Orchard Ridge for more information. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Weiss Band is wrapping up. We'll have the Glen Band for you in the second half on the other side of the break.
This is the KMAX Sports Network, and this is what we do.
Looking left, throws into the end, snap again, he hits the turf, and Devon scoops it up, Cameron Wilkins
the corner
has
of the
it.
end zone. 10, 5, touchdown. Let us broadcast your team. Send an email to Merle@KMAXSports.com or Chuck at KMAXSports.com to find out how.
Side, he's got blockers in front of him. Touchdown, 5, touchdown.
Yes, sir. It's what we do, and nobody does it better. We are KMAX Sports.
Do you love the game of football? Wish you could be part of the action? Then become a football official. The Austin Football Officials Association is actively seeking new members to officiate games all across Central Texas. The Austin Football Chapter of TASO, the Texas Association of Sports Officials, provides a 2-year training program for new members. Taught by a crew of veteran officials, these training classes meet each Monday night from July through November and include classroom and on-field instruction. You don't need to be an ex-player or a coach to become a great official and have a memorable officiating career. As our officials will tell you, working around student athletes at all levels of football is gratifying. Plus, you'll develop lifelong friendships with other officials who share your passion for the game. Officiating football is a great way to get into and stay in shape, be a positive role model for student athletes, retain your competitive edge, and earn additional income. Visit the Austin Football Officials Association online at afoa.ws for more information. That's afoa.ws.
Lamont, first thing, I need you on my fantasy team.
This is Lamont Slade, running back.
44-yard touchdown for Lamont Slade as he ran right up the gut.
And listening to Grizzly Football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Week 5 with you, Alex Beta, EJ Sanchez, and Mitchell Paget. As 16 minutes left to go in halftime, we'll bring you the Glen Grizzlies Band and lead us right into the third quarter here on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Guardian officers are Lieutenants Aaliyah Taylor and Mackenzie Taylor, First Lieutenant Kylan Welch Porter, and Captain Amanda Maglich. The 2018 Guardian Social Officers are President Desi Tanguma and Social Officers Cameron Casares and Juliana LaPerla. The Spirit of the Guardians is Shyla Crawford, and Guardian of the Week is Chelsea Bills. Tonight, the Guardians will perform a palm routine to Come Out and Play. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for the Glen High School Guardians. The Guardians are under the direction of Katie Reeves and Amy Moran. Continuing tonight's halftime performance is the Glen Marching Band. The Glen Band show is entitled Big Sky. Tonight, the band will perform selections of their production featuring music by Aaron Copeland, Billy Joel, and Edward Griege. Soloists and small ensemble members this year are Mackenzie James, Quinn Palladino, Orlando Rivera, Mauricio Pena, and Ellie Slate. Music is arranged by Mr. Ryan George, Tyler Sammons, and Matt Pentland. Drill design by Jeffrey Thompson and visual consulting by Leon May. Member of the Week is William Basilio, and Section of the Week is the Color Guard. The Glen Band and Color Guard is under the direction of Kim Shuttlesworth, Amy Suggs, Jacob Gall, and Michael Costner. Please help me welcome drum majors Mia Crane and Nicholas Burhans and the Grizzly Marching Band. The Grizzly Band has earned sweepstakes in both marching and concert contests since they were established in 2016. In the fall of 2017, the Grizzly Band was named the Bands of America's San Antonio Super Regional Class 2A bronze medalists. In July, the Glen Band Wind Ensemble earned 11th place in the Texas Music Educators Association 4A State Honor Band Contest. The Grizzly Band will be performing at 2:15 at the Vista Ridge Marching Festival at Gupton Stadium next to Vista Ridge. Come out and support the Grizzly Band. The Grizzly Band would like to extend best wishes and good luck to the Weiss Band in their competitive season. The Grizzly Band would also like to thank all the parents, boosters, and administration for their continued support of the arts.
How does your business connect with customers in our community? Reach families and show your school spirit through the Leander ISD Scoreboard Advertising Program. We offer a captivated audience directly in your neighborhood. What are you waiting for? See your business on our scoreboards today by visiting leanderisd.org/scoreboards.
Homecoming week is October 15th through 19th. Each day we have a Spirit Day to show your school pride. In addition to the Spirit Days, Glen will have its first annual Homecoming Parade on Wednesday, October 17th at 6:30 p.m. Be sure to help represent your club, sport, or organization with an amazing float. There are 3 ways to participate in the parade by either making a float, decorating a truck, or walking with the sign. We will continue the week with the Homecoming Potbelly you won't want to miss on Friday, October 19th, where our Homecoming Court will be announced. Later that night, our Grizzly varsity football team will be taking on the Eastview Patriots, and our Homecoming King and Queen will be crowned at halftime. The grand finale of the week will be our Homecoming Dance by Glenn on...
The KMAX Sports Camp was so hot this summer, we're going to offer it again this coming December. That's right, 3 KMAX Sports Campers not only learned about sports broadcasting, but they're getting it done on the KMAX Sports Network as you hear this. You want your young one to learn, get hands-on experience, and possibly get involved? Middle schoolers, high schoolers, and adults are welcome. We'll hold 3 sessions in December, including 2 over Christmas break. Call us for more information at 512-338-1111, extension 100. That's 512-338-1111, extension 100. The KMAX Sports staff, with over 100 years of combined broadcast experience, will give each camper personalized guidance on getting into and advancing a career in sports broadcasting. Campers will be provided water, camp t-shirt, and a sample of their work. And just like high school sophomores Jace Andrews, Blake Herrera, and EJ Sanchez, the best campers may get an opportunity to enter and possibly work with KMAX Sports. Call us for information, 512-338-1111, extension 100, or email us info@kmaxsports.com. The KMAX Sports Camp, the best way to get in the game.
This is head football coach Rob Shainfeld, and you're listening to Grizzlies football on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
All right, 2-minute warning here at halftime. We're about 1:55 away from starting the second half. Actually, the teams are not going to wait for the time to start as Pedro Soto is getting ready to kick off here. So I have to update the scoreboard. But you know the story. 28-0 right now. Grizzlies ahead of the Weiss Wolves. And like Coach Shainfeld said, I think it's Jimbo Fisher said, you're up 28-0 second half. Start it. You got to close the door. They're going to start with a great kick here as Kaufman is going to take the ball to 15. He's going to run outside and try to catch a lane. He's going to get across to about the 31-yard line.
Pedro
so about a
Soto
16-yard pickup for Dylan Kaufman. And
Ball
Weiss
ran
Wolves
back by
will start
number
at their own
18,
31-yard line here.
The Wolves.
So the Wolves going to try to get something on with offense. It's going to be Jackson Sandlin
Wolves will
out.
take over on their 32-yard
Be
line.
the quarterback, as you mentioned. No Tavion Cord, and we saw what he was doing in his first couple of drives. So they'll go back to Jackson Sandlin. He's going to have 3 wide receivers out to the right and a receiver out to the left. Kobe McCoy with him in the backfield. Sandlin's going to try to run, and he is brought down at the 35-yard line. Excuse me. A 3-yard pickup for the quarterback.
Yeah, we've seen Sandlin. Sandlin not scared to call his own number. We saw the same thing with McFarland last week. But so it looks like the defense is already used to this kind of, read option type of thing.
So they can get some pressure now. Lee Pollock in on the left-hand side, trying to get some rush on the edge. We're going to go left to right on your radio right now. Sandlin is looking in for the call. Michael Valdez in at receiver for the Wolves. 2nd and 7. Shotgun snap. Sandler throws off the hands of Valdez. Is tipped. It is almost picked off by Cody Bagwell. As the ball was tipped by Valdez, and Bagwell really upset with himself as he's kind of hobbling. He might have rolled his ankle, but they're going to bring in Isaac Armillo in to cover for Bagwell. Yeah, he's limping off the field. Look, he might have rolled his ankle, but almost came up with that interception on the deflection.
And if he comes up with that interception, that is the defensive play of the year if we're going off style points. I mean, that would have been a huge play, but still got the deflection nonetheless.
So they're going to tend to Bagwell on the sideline. Deep pass thrown down the sideline. And no good as the ball is out of bounds. Intended again for Michael Valdez this time. So a 3 and out for the Weiss Wolves as they're going to bring the punting unit out and Dylan Kaufman to punt back to Sam Martin.
Down at 7 with punt team coming on. Back deep to receive the punt.
For the Glen Grizzlies, Martin is going to be standing at about the 33-yard line of Grizzly territory. So the ball's at the 35. Snap to Kaufman. He's trying to get it away, and it's blocked by Noah Holmes. And that ball's going to go in the end zone for a safety, but Noah Holmes in on the block punt.
Wolves punt block.
Holmes almost upset with himself. He blocked it too hard. He blocked it right around the 25-yard line, and the ball went all the way back into the east end zone. Great play again by Noah Holmes, the second block of the day for the special teams for Glenn. Holmes again flying around the field, just constantly making plays like we've seen him do all year.
Absolutely. So he had a block point after attempt last week. He's got a block punt in this one. A couple of big tackles as well, but like you mentioned, he blocked the ball so hard, it just ricocheted and rolled all the way out of bounds for a safety. So the Grizzlies will pick up 2 points, and they'll get the ball back. They lead it now 30-0 with 10:54 left to go in the second half.
Yeah,
third quarter, excuse me.
Yeah. Maybe an idea for Coach Shanefield trying to get some younger guys, try to get some experience. Because those younger guys will pay off down the stretch if there's ever an injury. I mean, you definitely don't hope for that. You definitely don't want that to happen. But if the situation were to come up, you do want those guys that are sitting on the bench to have some carries to see if they can carry you in an emergency situation.
So the Grizzlies set to receive this kick, and the Weiss Wolves are going to be kicking from their own 20-yard line. So Kaufman's going to have to really put some leg into this one.
So we have to look for Sam Martin again to see if he'll rack up the rest of those return yards that he's gotten all week.
We have Brian Creel and Corin Thompson at the 45-yard line. Let's see who's going to go to. It's a line drive kick, and Hart Henderson's going to pick it up at the 29-yard. He's going to run across the 40, across the 45 to midfield, across to the inside of Wolves territory. They're going to mark him down at the 40-yard line.
Running the ball back.
A 38-yard return for Jarvis Henderson.
I mean,
there's a flag on the play.
Yeah, it's been a constant all night for the Grizzlies.
They're return team. 10 yards, spot of the foul.
I might have jinxed it right there. They're going to move back, but what I was going to say is...
Block in the back on the Grizzlies on the return, 10-yard penalty.
Yeah, every single time that the Grizzlies have gotten the ball, it seems like they have a short field to work with. I mean, I can only remember one drive that went into the end zone that was a touchback, and that is the only drive where they have not had the best field position to start off.
So now they're going to move the ball all the way back to about the Grizzly 32-yard line. So that's going to negate a 37-yard kickoff return for Jarvis Henderson. We saw him with a big 30-yarder against McCallum a couple of weeks ago. So Henderson can get going too. We talk about a lot about Sam Martin, but Henderson can get a couple of returns too.
Yeah, Henderson has that ability to stop at a dime real quick and cut back, and that's why he's really useful in the slot.
Grizzlies take over at their own 32-yard line. 1st and 10. And they're going to give to Thompson. He's going to try to counter and shake his way across the 35. He's going to get the 35. So a 3-yard pickup for Corin Thompson.
Another tackle right there by Juan Ellis, who has been
running
the leading tackler so far for the Wolves.
Made by number 33.
So 2nd and 7 for the Grizzlies. They need their own 39-yard line for a first
down and 7.
Trying to get the call
for your Grizzlies. Ball spotted at the 35-yard line.
That's going to take some getting used to. Slade in at running back. They bring Thompson in motion again. It's actually Nichols, and he's going to run across. He's met immediately by number 55. I think that's Lyons in on the tackle. Marcus Lyons. He's
And
all over
number
the place for
27,
these
Shamir
Wolves.
Nichols.
Yeah, he's been a
Men in the
really
hole by
big
number
part
55,
of
Marcus
Glenn going
Lyons.
through the air. Now, Glenn, when they see they haven't seen the running game
Short
start
game of the play,
early,
bring up
you
third
saw
and
because of
6.
Lyons. Lyons has been playing the guys all day, and that's why they resorted to
Ball
start
spotted
using
on the
McGuire through the air
36.
and getting these guys like Martin and Henderson involved.
A pickup of 1 on the play for Nichols. It'll bring down 3rd and 6 from the Grizzly 36. 9:37 and counting left to go in the third quarter. Grizzlies need their own 42-yard line for the first down. They put Morris in that motion. McGuire back to pass. He faces pressure. Ball's tipped and it's picked off. And here it goes. And it's going to be in the end zone for a touchdown. A pick 6 by Drew McGuire as he threw it. And the ball was tipped by number
Interception
58,
on the play.
Christian Hamilton.
By number
He
58.
tips it up, tips it to himself. He runs it
Christian
in for an
Hamilton
18-yard
of the Weiss
return
Wolves.
for a touchdown. So
Taking it in
Weiss
for
gets
6
on
points.
the board.
I mean, it was just a screenplay that never really had the chance to develop. The play blew up before, as soon as the ball was snapped. The offensive line seemed like they abandoned it just a little too early, and McGuire had nowhere to go. Tried to throw it away, but that's how much pressure they had on him. Costly mistake right there by Drew McGuire.
This offensive line, we praised them the first 4 weeks of the season. They've had some trouble tonight with this front seven. You know, you got Hamilton and Lyons and these boys from Weiss. They got a lot of pressure on him early, and all you saw McGuire do was backpedal.
Another block PAT.
And they do block the point after attempt. So it's going to be 30-6.
Extra point blocked.
As Glenn will get the ball back again with 9:19
Kicking
left to
the
go
ball
in the
for the
third
Wolves.
quarter. We're going to take a quick commercial break.
54.
We'll be back on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Score remains 30-6.
Sports Network. And this is what we do.
Looking left, throws into the bad snap again. He hits the turf, and down scoops it up. Cameron Wilkins corner on the end zone.
10, 5, touchdown. Let us broadcast your team. Send an email to Merle at KMAXSports.com or Chuck at KMAXSports.com to find out how.
Side, he's got blockers in front of him. Touchdown.
5, touchdown.
Yes, sir.
It's what we do, and nobody does it better. We are KMAX Sports.
just ready for that play to be over and just get on with the game. It looked like he didn't really care which way it went.
9:19 left to go. Glenn leading it 30-6 as they are ready to receive this kickoff. And Jack Weiss is ready to kick off from his 40. And it's a deep kick. And it is going to go out of bounds. So it's going to be a flag on the play, legal procedure. And the ball will be placed on the 40-yard line for the Grizzlies. So they're going to have some nice field to work with. They're going to try to build on this 30-6 lead.
Kick out of bounds.
I don't think this penalty will take long to sort out. This one is pretty standard. So, and again, good field position for Glenn. So we'll see if we'll try to get Shamir Nichols and some of those younger guys try to get some snaps.
I'd like to just see Lamont Slade get going. I mean, he picked up a touchdown, a 27-yarder, his 7th touchdown of the season.
We'd like to recognize
just
Bush.
run up the ball right up the middle and really wear down this front, because this front is kind of almost doing what they want, getting pressure in on these passing downs. So let's see if these boys up front can make some holes. Nate Hatter's going to have to get involved, see if they can push some lanes open for Lamont Slade. Looks like that's Julian Morris from here. So right to left on your radio, Nichols in motion. They fake to give to him, and it's Morris. He's going to roll to the outside. He's going to get across the 30, hurdle over to the 40, inside the 45-yard line. So he's going to get all the way down to the 43-yard line.
Rumbling, stumbling, bumbling for another Grizzly.
Really athletic run right there by Morris. Morris usually the guy that just will run people over and take 3 or 4 with them along for the ride. But they're displaying how good he is and how shifty he is.
So they're going to give him the 42 on that play. So a 12-yard pickup for Morris. He's got 39 yards on the night.
Looked like Michael Valdez was in on the tackle for the Wolves.
Henderson split out to the left. Morris still in the backfield. They give it to him again. He runs right up the middle. He's met by a bunch of Grizzlies, and he's pushing forward. That's actually Lamont Slade. He's going to get up to the 46-yard line. So
Lamont Slade, ball carrier on the play. Initial tackle made by number 18, Dylan Kaufman.
He said it best. Sometimes they don't know who's going to get the ball.
That'll bring up
It's
2nd
Morris,
and 6 for
and
your
they bring in
Grizzlies.
Slade.
Ball
Slade
spotted
will
on
stay in
the
this play.
46-yard line.
And what this offense does is that you can't really game plan for any particular player.
2nd and 6 for the Grizzlies from their own 46. They need the Weiss 48 for a first down. Handoff is to Slade. He's going to work, get down. Looks like he's going to get across midfield. They're going to put him right ahead of the 50-yard line. So he's going to pick up about 4 on the play.
Lamont Slade running off tackle.
Yeah, the leading tackler right now, Seth Joseph now. Number 26, the free safety for the Wolves.
So 3rd and 2 from midfield.
Bring up 3rd and 2.
Grizzlies need the 48-yard line. And the give is to Slade. He's pushing. He's still fighting. And he's going to get across to the 47-yard line. What a run by Lamont Slade to get the first down.
Handoff.
And that's where Lamont Slade living up to what his position is, which is a fullback. If you were joining us last week when Alan Shadnett was able to sit down with Coach Shanefield, he said our 2 fullbacks, Julian Morris and Lamont Slade, and that was a surprise to me because usually I see Slade as more of a scat back, the guy that can go shifty and a good guy on sweeps.
Absolutely. So looks like we have an injury on the field. We're trying to see who's down. Is it a Weiss player or a Glenn player? Looks like it's a Weiss player as we have all the coaches ahead. So just to reset as we take a quick injury timeout, Lamont Slade starting to get going now. He's got a 4-yard carry, 4-yard, and a 3-yard carry. He's got 6 carries tonight for 55 yards. Julian Morris chipped in with a 12-yard carry on this drive. So he's got 4 carries for 39 yards. So they're starting to get going. It looks like the injured player for Weiss is up, walking off on his own will, so we'd love to see that. Let's take a quick timeout, and we'll be back on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Number 10.
15. Comprehensive high school sports media outlet covering UIL, private schools. Vype has been in Texas for over a decade. Visit their website at Vype, VYPETexas.com. And also pick up your Vype magazine today. Get in the game with Vype Media.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
So the injured Weiss Wolf on the play was Marcus Lyons. He's been a trouble player for Glenn tonight. He's getting a lot of pressure in there. He helped get that pressure when Hamilton had the pick 6. There's a penalty on the play, so they're going to move the ball back to Glenn. And they're going to be facing a 3rd and long here. So I think that's going to negate that penalty. So they're going to redo 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 16. And they need the 48-yard line. Nichols in motion. They fake the give to him. They're going to run to the outside, and Slade is going to bounce a tackle. He's going to get across the 40 to about the 43. He's going to
Lamont Slade, ball carrier.
We're going to have a
brought
4th
down
and 9 for the Grizzlies.
33 of the Wolves, 1 LS and number
Yeah, again, penalties are usually the bugaboo for the Grizzlies. Whenever they're not moving the ball offensively, usually it's because they're shooting themselves in the foot, and you saw it right there with another penalty that negated the run.
So 7 minutes and counting as the punt is up. Fair catch is called inside the 30 and it's muffed, and he picks up the recovery. The punt was muffed by the Weiss player, and it's recovered by himself. We've seen a couple of muff punts here in this one. Grizzlies changing kickers. Yet again, it was number 44, Derek Childs, in on the punt this time.
Yeah, Kaufman wasn't able to hang on to it. Called for the fair catch, but maybe still felt the pressure with some of the gunners for Glenn.
This Glenn defense will take over
ladies and
now.
gentlemen.
Try to make something
It's
happen.
time.
6:55 left to go in the third quarter. Glenn holding on to a 30-6 lead.
Please donate
First
to
and
this
7
worthy
for the
cause.
Wolves. They'll take over at their own 27-yard line. Looking to get something going, as it's still Jackson Sandlin in the game, as Callan Rogers is next to him in the backfield. Shotgun snap, give this to Rogers. He's going to push across. He's going to get maybe a yard. They'll put him back at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 for the Wolves.
As this up front defense for Glenn is really just not allowing them to get any sort of pressure going up the middle. Those guys in the middle, James Francis, Daiku, Guyton, and Hester off the edge. They're doing a great job not letting this offensive line push them around, which they haven't really let any offensive line push them around. Even when they faced McCallum, who outweighed them in size and was a little bit taller than them, they played well against that front too.
6:22 and counting left to go in the third quarter. 2nd and 10 for the Wolves from their own 27. They need the 37 for a first down. Rogers in the backfield with Sandlin. Fakes the pass. He's going to try to get a crease to the outside. He's running. He gets a big gain. He's going to get out to the 37-yard line. They're going to give him a 10-yard pickup. This should be enough for a first down, and they will move the chains. A first-yard pickup for the Wolves.
Sandlin again taking it himself, and when you have some drop passes, when you have some backs that haven't really gotten the job done the way you want it to, sometimes the only recipe for that is for Sandlin and taking himself.
Weiss bringing up 1st and 10.
Weiss trying to get the ball moving here. 5:40 to go left in the third quarter. 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line. Snap, give. Rogers gets the outside. He finds a crease. That's actually DeMarcus Martinez. And he gets across the midfield. He's down at the 50-yard line. A 13-yard pickup for DeMarcus Martinez.
Yeah, they tried to go through Martinez on the ground in the first half. Didn't have as much success, but a good little burst of speed right there. 13 yards on the carry for Martinez.
Brought down by number 33, Brian Creel.
Creel in on the tackle. 1st and 10, so 2 straight first downs for this Wolves team. And they're trying to gain some confidence here as they're trying to march into Grizzly territory. The ball is on the Weiss side of the 50. Martinez in the backfield. Snap, give it to him again. He's going to run across the middle. He's met by a bunch of Grizzlies. Looks like it's Brian Creel and Jeff Francis Daiku in on the tackle, along with number 52, Petey Cervantes.
Hand up on the play to number 23.
Petey Cervantes has done a good job in this at the beginning of district, making some good tackles in the middle.
For Weiss.
So 2-yard pickup.
Ball spotted on the 48-yard line.
Weiss has got to
of
get
the
going with
Grizzlies.
this running game. See if they're going to stick with it.
You know, possibly that pick 6, maybe contributing some momentum onto the sideline.
Martinez in the backfield. McLaren back there as well. And Sandlin's going to call his own number. It's going to fight his way to about the 46-yard line of Grizzly territory. So a pickup of about 3 yards is going to bring up 3rd and about 6 for the Wolves.
Yeah, 3rd down, not something that they have been good at so far up to this point. They've only had one third down conversion, throughout this entire game. It looks like they're bringing in. Looks like Sandlin had to come back in. Looks like he took that play off.
So
So we're staring in at the sideline, trying to get the play. 16 seconds left to go on the play clock. 3:41 and counting left to go in the third quarter. 3rd and 6 from the Grizzly 46. They need the 40-yard line for a first down. Shotgun snap to Selin. He's looking to throw. He's got a receiver, and he is brought down as it is Jalen Sampender who is brought down for a loss of 3 yards on the play. 4th and 9.
Number 8, Jalen
for the Wolves. He was trying to get Sampenter on the screen pass, and he just couldn't get going. He was read by the Grizzlies from the start.
That'll bring up 4th
Yeah, what
and
these
9
Grizzlies have done,
Weiss.
especially the corners and the safeties, they've done a good job of sniffing out those wide receiver screens and those little dinks and dunks in the flat. A lot of those dumps haven't turned into a lot of gains like the offense would like them to.
4th and 9 from the 49-yard line. Gonna have a punt coming up for Glenn. As it is Dylan Kaufman. Snap. Kick is up. Line drive kick. He's going to push Martin all the way back. And it's actually Stumblefield who picks up the ball for the 10-yard. He gets across the 20. And he's met immediately by a Weiss defender. And he gets the ball all the way to about the 21-yard line. And a flag is down.
It looks like it will be a hold.
Alec Townsley.
So a hold on the Grizzlies. And they're going to move this one back as we wait for official word.
Number 23, half the distance.
So block in the back, number 23, Isaac Armijo in on the penalty. So that's going to push Glenn back. See if they can get some kind of offense going. They were moving the ball a little bit in the last drive as it stalled.
And what I talked about at the top of the broadcast is the next step I want this team to take, or something I want to see, is burying your opponents when they're down. I mean, obviously 24 points is going to take pretty close to a miracle for Weiss to win this game. But Glenn's still not really slamming their foot on the gas. They're letting them hang around. It's only 24 points. It's a 3-possession game. I understand that. But still, you want to see when they're up by 21, 28 at the half, you want to see them win by the 30s and the 40s to try to keep the momentum going and not try to go through the motions.
The Grizzlies will start from their own 9-yard line. It looks like it's Lamont Slade in the backfield. Give us to Slade. He's going to run. He's going to get across the 10-yard line. He's going to get all the way out to the 16-yard line. So a 7-yard pickup for Lamont Slade to start this drive.
And that tackle was made right there by Marcus Lyons. So good to see him coming back into the game. We saw him lose the injured Wolf with 6 minutes left to go. We're happy to see him get up on his own power because he's been a force on this defense against McGuire.
For the Grizzlies.
So they'll give Slade 6 on the play. They give to Slade again. He's pushing. He's getting patient. He's waiting for a hole to open up. He's going to get out to the 19-yard line this time. So it's going to bring up a 3rd and 1 for the Grizzlies at their own 19-yard line.
It'll be really interesting to see which back that Coach Shanefield wants to play right here because it could any of the three are valid options right here, especially in a short yardage situation.
Well, you got Morris and Nichols on the sidelines right next to Coach Shanefield. They're going to stick with Morris. He's got 9 carries for 71 yards, so he's averaging almost 8 a carry. And look like they're going to go with him from the short yardage play. 3rd and 1 from their own 19. They need the 20-yard line. Snap is to McGuire. He gives to Slade. He'll push across for the first down as they will give him forward progress at exactly the 20. That should be enough to move the chains. It was short of the 20. They're marking him. And now Slade's going to come up. They're going to bring in Nichols and Julian Morris.
Yeah, I know they gave him forward progress, but Kaufman did everything in his power to try to prevent it from there.
On the 10-yard line of the Grizzlies.
So like 2nd and 10. So I guess they must have given them a first down on the other play. 2nd down and 10 now for the Grizzlies. Well, I'm not sure with that. I'm trying to figure that out, but I guess they gave Slade the first down when he had the 3-yard carry. So 2nd and 10 from the 20. Shotgun snap. Outside to Nichols. He's trying to shake his way across. He's going to get all the way out to the 24-yard line. A 4-yard pickup for Shamir Nichols, and now a flag comes out.
And it looks like that flag could be on the tackle for Glenn. I mean, for the Wolves.
As we'll wait to hear the play so far. 4-yard pickup for Shamir Nichols.
After the play is over, personal foul, number 3. 15 yards, automatic first down.
So after the 4-yard pickup, a late hit
ball carrying the last play
is made by number 3, Ronald Caldwell, on the defense for the Wolves that's going to add 15 yards to the play, and this will push the ball to about the 35-yard line of Glenn.
Yeah, if you're the Wolves, that's the last thing you want to see, giving free yardage to a team that's already hung 30 on you with the seconds ticking down in the third quarter.
So 42 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Glenn, 30-6 in this one, and they're driving here. Ball's going to be put down at, I believe, the 44-yard line, so after that 15-yard pickup. Clock now running at 34 seconds. This might be the last play of the third quarter. As Drew McGuire surveying the field. Nate Hatteran at the line of scrimmage again to provide an extra blocker. And the give is to Morris. He's going to push across the 40 and get to about the 41-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup for Julian Morris. Lamont Slade, excuse me. 2-yard pickup for Lamont Slade. Looks like that's going to do it for the third quarter.
Slade. Short gain on the play.
So we have come to the end of the third quarter. We'll change field positions. Grizzlies will have 2nd and 8 from their own 41-yard line. When we come back, Grizzlies 30-6 over the Weiss Wolves on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
KMAX Sports is the largest online broadcast company in Central Texas. How large is that? We're like the biggest, most beautiful field of bluebonnets you can imagine. Except we're not going to play sports here because they're bluebonnets. What, are you crazy? We'll get some nice pictures before we go, though. Hey kids, just sit down over there. Yeah, right in the middle of them. Smile. Perfect. Well, we'll send this one to Grandma. Bringing your teams to you since 2003. We are KMAX Sports.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
Fourth quarter here at AC Bible Memorial Stadium in Leander. Glen Grizzlies all over the Weiss Wolves, 30-6.
With your help, we can keep our Grizzlies safe.
They now have a 2nd and 8 from their own 41-yard line as the Grizzlies are trying to close this game out and finish tonight with a hard-earned victory, as the Weiss Wolves have been pretty tough tonight in a number of areas. So 2nd and 8, snap. The give is to Slade. He's trying to turn upfield. He finally does, and he's going to get all the way out to the 49-yard line. An 8-yard pickup for Lamont Slade. That's going to be enough for
handing off to number 10, Lamont Slade on the play.
You know, what I really liked on that play was those good downfield blocking by Sam Martin. We always talk about Sam Martin making the big plays with his hands, and he is good at it. These receivers don't get enough credit for how good they block downfield.
And we have another injured player on the play. It looks like it's a Weiss Wolf down there, one of the defensive linemen. So just checking in, 11 carries, 81 yards for Lamont Slade. He's been getting the ball this entire second half for the most part, as we're trying to identify the Wolf player that is down. Some of the district leaders in District 13 5A in rushing coming into tonight's game. Julian Morris was 2nd in the district in rushing yards, 4th in touchdowns, tied for 8th in yards per carry. So Morris came into today's game with 47 carries for 375. That's good for 8 yards a carry. He had 4 touchdowns. Lamont Slade was tied for 7th in yards, and Slade came into today's game with 251 yards, tied with Corn Thompson, and Slade 2nd in the district with 6 touchdowns. So the injured player was number 33, Juan Ellis. He's going to walk off on his own account, so he's okay, and we'll resume play couple of seconds.
Yeah, we've said Ellis' name a couple times. He's been a good linebacker today for the Wolves, and he's done a good job of not letting these backs catch these passes in the flat.
Yep. So 1st and 10 for the Grizzlies at the 49-yard line. Looks like we got Slade and Nichols in the backfield. McGuire back to pass, high give, and the give is to Morris. He's going to break a tackle. He's going to get all the way to the 45-yard line. So a 6-yard pickup
number
for
21,
Julian Morris.
Julian Morris, ball carrier on the play.
Tackle made by Seth Joseph. And Seth Joseph not standing huge in stature, but he's made a ton of tackles tonight for the Wolves.
Bring up 2nd and 4. Ball spotted on the 45 yard
5
line
carries,
of the Wolves.
45 yards for Morris, so he's averaging 9, right in on his 8-yard average for the season. 11:09 left to go in the fourth quarter. Glenn, 30-6 in this one. 2nd and 4 from the Wolves' 45-yard line. Need the 41 for first down. Shotgun is to McGuire. He's going to give to Morris. He's pushed back, keeps going, and they're going to give him forward progress at the 44-yard line. So he'll gain a yard on the play. It'll be 3rd and 3 for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, did his best right there to try to cut up and make a break on the ball, but the second effort didn't get anywhere. He was swallowed up by a swarm of Wolves.
Running the ball on the play.
And we haven't really seen the Grizzlies throw too much in these last couple of drives. Let's see if they can get something going here on 3rd and 3, as Julian Morris and Lamont Slade are going to be in the backfield on this play.
For your Glen Grizzlies.
And so what we notice about this offense is since there's so many guys to go to, it makes it so much harder for an opposing team on film to try to zero in on one guy.
So here's the play. Lamont Slade trying to turn upfield. He's put back, and he's pushing his way. He's going to get to about the 45-yard line. So
Lamont Slade
probably loses a yard on the play. That's going to bring up 4th and 4.
Tackled by number 30
for the Grizzlies.
Anthony Apodaca was on the tackle right there for the Wolves, the junior defensive end. He's been also in on a lot of plays, doing his best to try to go against this really tough Glen offensive line.
So 4th and 4 from the 45-yard line. Grizzlies look they're going to go for it. As I think Coach Shanefeld's going to call a timeout here as the play clock's starting to wind down. And they will call a timeout. So the Grizzlies call a timeout. They lead at 30-6 with 9:26 left to go in the fourth quarter. We're going to take a break. We'll be back on the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network.
Special thanks to Marco's Pizza.
Sources, education programs need to eliminate the killing of companion animals. That means more happy pets joining more happy families every single day. In fact, Austin Pets Alive has saved more than 25,000 dogs and cats since 2008. And you can adopt them. If you have love. At Austin Pets Alive, the mission is to promote and provide the resources, education, and programs needed to eliminate the killing of companion animals. That means more happy pets joining more happy families every single day. In fact, Austin Pets Alive has saved more than 25,000 dogs and cats since 2008. And you can help. Adopt a new family member, help out with a donation, or roll up your sleeves and volunteer. If you have love, time, or money to spare, and we all have at least one of those, you are needed. Visit AustinPetsAlive.com to get started. Austin Pets Alive, helping people help pets.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.
The 4th and 4 as they're getting ready to punt. And the kick is up by Childs. And it is punted down. No one is there to receive it as now Alec Townsley is there. And he's going to be able to down the ball at the 1-yard line. What
beautiful kick by number 44
Childs.
of the Grizzlies. Derek Childs down by number 7.
What a play by Alec Townsley as well. Special teams to get down there and down that ball at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, Gunners never give enough credit. They always seem like the goats every single time that it bounces into the end zone. They didn't get there fast enough, but Townsley was waiting for the ball. The ball rolled right up to him and touched it right in between his legs. Can't ask for much more on a punt.
Let's see if this Grizzly team can start to put pressure now as the ball is going to be down at the 1-yard line. And we had referee take a spill in the end zone just now. Looks like he's all right.
So we'll see if this defense can try to come up and make a play again. They've already forced a couple of safeties this year.
So Sandlin's going to be taking shotgun snaps from his own end zone as they put Rogers in motion. And the give is to McCoy. Kobe McCoy gets out to about the 4-yard line, so a 3-yard pickup for McCoy. That'll give this Weiss Wolves offense a little bit of breathing room now as they're backed up very deep in their own territory.
McCoy's first carry on the
number
day.
56, Manuel De Los Santos, and number 52, Pedro Cervantes. Bring up 2nd down and 8.
2nd down and 8. So NFL scoring update. The New England Patriots are up 24-3 over the Indianapolis Colts. And there's a run to the outside. And Not enough for the first down, so it's going to bring up a third and long, on the play.
Tackle was
20
on
and counting here in the fourth quarter.
And number 8. Taking more.
So we'll try to see what kind of game plan they'll try to scoop up right here, because they need to get to their 11-yard line in order to pick up a first down. First downs aren't something that the Wolves have seen a lot of tonight.
So 3rd and 8 from their own 4. They need their own 12 for the first down. Snap, Sandlin's back to pass. He pump fakes. He throws across, and it's almost picked off by Noah Holmes as the ball was thrown wide of Callan Rogers, the intended receiver. That's going to bring up a 4th down and 8.
Yeah, Noah Holmes didn't even see it coming. He thought that he was going to make the play on the receiver that the ball was intended for. It was a quick little slant route and wasn't able to come up with the play. But again, the defense forcing another 3 and out.
So now they're going to punt from their own end zone, and we saw this happen with McCallum and even last week against Glenn,
number 13, Samuel Martin.
Sometimes it's tough to get that snap down, and it goes over the head in the back of the end zone for safety. So let's see how they snap the ball here. Punt is low, and he just gets it off as Martin catches it at the Wolves' 40-yard line. He's going to break a tackle, get out of bounds at about the 32-yard line, so an 8-yard return for Sam Martin, and the Grizzlies will take over at the Wolves' 32-yard
Samuel Martin brought down
line.
by number 34.
Yeah, for how much pressure he had on him, that was a heck of a kick right there for Kaufman. Gave him a boot. Seemed like it was about a 40-yard punt after you subtract all the yardage from what Martin was able to do with his legs.
So again, we haven't seen this Grizzly team score a touchdown in the second half. The 2 points come on the blocked punt by Noah Holmes, but this offense has been stalling the entire half.
Chicken as one of our
we still have 7 minutes and 40 seconds left to go, so not a ton of time. So for the better part of this half, the offense has been stagnant almost.
So 1st and 10. As the give is to Nichols. He's fighting his way, still on his feet. He gets to the 30. He's across to about the 27-yard line. And Kaufman on the tackle to save the play. But Shamir Nichols shaking and making all over the place.
Yeah, that was the definition of making something out of nothing. It seemed like he was going to be wrapped up. Maybe for a loss right there. Was able to spin out of one tackle, break another, and break all the way in reverse field. And when you're taught as a running back, when you reverse field, you're always taught that you better make a play out of it, because if you don't, it's going to be a big loss. Made a big play out of it. Good carry right there by Nichols.
So he fought his way for a hard 3 yards. It's going to be 2nd down and 7 from the 28-yard line, 2nd and 7. Snap is to McGuire. He gives again to Nichols, who shakes another tackle, and this time he can't get that much as he is going to be met at the 31-yard line. So he was pushed back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd and 10 for the Grizzlies.
Yeah, Shamir doing a good job in trying to make his case that he can be one of these guys that you can insert into the run game in a much more competitive game. I mean, this front line, nothing to shrug off. I mean, they've done a good job, but that you can only do so much before these backs start to get to you. But Shamir Nichols doing his part.
I'm trying to look at the sideline, see if we see Corin Thompson anywhere, because we haven't seen him at all in a long time. As it'll be Stubblefield, Henderson, and Martin out to the left. And the give is to Nichols. He's going to push his way. That's actually Slade. Slade is going to get out to the 26-yard line. So a pickup of about 5 on the play.
Yeah, he was wrapped up again by Anthony Apodaca, the junior.
Getting the nod with the ball. Tackle made by...
So Nichols in on the carry, actually. Still trying to figure out the down and distance here as we're looking at the ball's at the 25. They need the 22. So 4th and 3.
Yeah, for Glenn, you'd like to see your offense maybe put up another touchdown right here. I mean, they've seen them go through the air and on the only ground for 1. We've seen them go on the ground for 5 at a time.
Nichols in motion to give it to him. He's going to bounce to the outside. And there's a stop in the play as Weiss called the timeout.
Defense.
So Weiss calls their first timeout of the second half. 5:17 left to go. Glenn trying to get something going in the second half as they're trying to drive down the field. They have a very important 4th and 4 coming up in this one.
Yeah, maybe a good timeout by Weiss. I mean, you are behind by 24, but maybe you're trying to gain some momentum in the next week. Maybe try to make a play happen on your defensive side of the ball to try to get some confidence going for this team moving forward, because Weiss is going to compete in this district. I mean, this is a really competitive district all the way through, and Weiss, obviously playing a team like Glenn who's trying to compete for a district title, they're trying to still fight their way into the playoffs too. So maybe trying to gain some confidence, maybe seeing how explosive this offense is, maybe trying to get a little bit of street cred going that they can stop this offense on a regular basis.
Absolutely. So the Grizzlies were leading at 28-0 going into the third quarter, and they've only scored 2 points. They've actually been outscored in this half as Hamilton had the pick six against Drew McGuire. So that was their points. The extra point was blocked. So they have 6, and then it's 30 points for Glenna. They got the 2 points on the blocked punt safety. So this offense yet to get into the end zone in this second half. Ball's at the Weiss 26. They need the 21 for a first down. 4th and 5. Stubblefield in motion. They fake the give to him, and the give is actually to Clay Upton. So we're seeing Clay Upton get into the game, and he's going to get out to about the 17-yard line for a first down. A 9-yard pickup for Clay Upton.
Yeah, putting Stubblefield in motion really allowed Upton to get around on the opposite sideline because with Stubblefield's speed,
that'll be enough for a Grizzly.
It causes a lot of problems on the opposite side of the defense, on the weak side of the formation.
5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Clay Upton. So we're getting a lot of substitutions. We definitely will check in after the game and see what's going on. We haven't seen Thompson or even Morris, for that fact, in the game. It's been all the young guys. Upton, Nichols, Stubblefield now in motion. Shotgun snap is to Stubblefield. He's going to turn upside across the 20, inside the 15, and he's going to get brought down at the 14-yard line. So a 4-yard pickup for Roderick Stubblefield.
Good cutback right there by Stubblefield. Again, making something out of nothing. It seemed like he was going to get run out of bounds right at around the 19-yard line, but did a good move with his feet, cut back young to the inside, and got all the way down to the 14.
So it'll be 2nd and 5 on the play from the Wolves' 14-yard line. They need the Wolves' 9-yard line for a first down.
With the ball spotted on the 14-yard line of Weiss.
Upton still in the backfield. The give is to him. He's going to push his way and fight his way all the way to the 11-yard line. So a hard-fought 3 yards for Clay Upton. That is going to bring up a 3rd and 2 for the Grizzlies.
It'd be great to see Clay Upton maybe try to get into the end zone, because the more weapons, the better. I mean, you see on a lot of teams, that's a great problem to have, is not having enough carries in the day to distribute to all these guys that can make a play.
You see Corin Thompson on the bench with his uniform on, so I guess he's okay. So Coach Schoenfeld getting some of his younger guys involved in this one, getting them some experience. Again, this team's going to need all the depth they can as we go later into the season. 3rd and 2 from the 11. Nichols in motion. They give it to him. He's going to bounce to the outside, cut up field, and he is going to get to the 8-yard line. So a 3-yard pickup and a first down for the Grizzlies. It'll bring up 1st and goal at the 8.
And I know I'm going to sound like a broken record when I say this, but in an offense where you run the ball probably close to 55-60% of the time, it's easy for a receiver to just go through the motions and not really pay attention to the play behind them. But it does look like there's an injured Grizzly, and it does look like it's number 27, Shamir Nichols.
It's the last thing Glenn needs to have an injury this late in the ball game, as he's trying not to put any pressure on that leg. So let's just hope it's an ankle and not a knee injury, as he is limping off the field. So 1st and goal to go for the 8. 3 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in this one. Grizzlies leading it 30-6.
Try to see if Nichols is able to get up under his own power. Nice round of applause from the Glen faithful that made the trip out here to AC Bible Junior Memorial Stadium.
It looks like it might be an ankle, as we're seeing Nichols kind of slide off, and he doesn't want to put any weight on that foot. So we'll monitor that and get you an update definitely by next week. So hope everything's good to go with Nichols. 1st and goal from the 8. Give it to Upton. He's across inside the 5. He's going to get down to the 2-yard line.
Drew McGuire handing
pick
off
up for Clay Upton. He's got 3 carries for 18 yards himself.
At this point, with how Coach Shanefield has used Upton, you got to think that he's going to be the guy to go to right here to try to punch it in.
Absolutely so. First and goal from the 2, from the 3. Handoff, Upton. Inside, touchdown, Clay Upton. A 3-yard touchdown run for Clay Upton. And the Grizzlies take a 36-6 lead with 2:15 left to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, good for Upton right there. Really did a good job running on that last drive, taking that mostly himself. He was the bell cow on that last drive. Did a good job right there with the full head of steam. Was able to take a couple of Wolf defender with him right into the end zone. 36-6, Glenn.
Pedro Soto out to kick the extra point. Sam Martin gets the hold down, and it looks like it was going to get blocked, but the kick is wide and it misses as Weiss got some pressure. And that's the second missed extra point. No, he missed a field goal earlier, excuse me. The extra point now for Soto. So with the extra point no good, it is 36-6 with 2:15 left to go in the fourth quarter.
It was almost an awkward block right there for the Wolves. It seemed like they were positioned and they pulled up to try to just decide on what direction they were going to go.
So 36-6, Glenn leading it, 2:15 to go. See if they can close out this game with a strong defensive front as they head now next week on the road to face a Cedar Creek team that's 1-0 in the district. And they're facing another 1-0 team in Bastrop. If you want to get some scouting in, you can actually go to the KMAC website tomorrow, kmac.com, and pick up the Cedar Creek Bastrop game.
Football fans, we'd like to remind you.
Yeah, Cedar Creek, another one of these teams that really surprised some people. Elgin was picked to finish third in the district, and Cedar Creek was picked to finish fourth. And these are two teams that are really that are playing with chips on their shoulders and trying to prove that they belong in the district title conversation.
So the kick is caught at the 10-yard line. Great kick, as it's Kaufman's going to take it out to about the 27-yard line. So a nice deep kick for Pedro Soto. And the Wolves will take over from their own 27-yard line.
And as we said last week, your only goal from the next 209, not only to still play your technique and execute plays, but to escape this game healthy and as healthy as you can possibly be. And I'm going to knock on wood because I don't want to jinx this, but every single game you've seen Glenn come out of it fairly healthy. I mean, maybe a nick and maybe a little nick every there, but all of their skill players and all their big explosive playmakers, they've been pretty healthy for most of the season.
Absolutely, and they've been getting a lot of rest in the second half, and great job by Coach Shanefield to really not push it too much with Corin Thompson or Jarvis Henderson. Just let these young running backs get the ball. As Rogers is going to bounce to the outside, going to get across the 30, outside to about the 38-yard line. So a 10-yard pickup, for Callan Rogers.
Callan Rogers has been another running back for Weiss that has really been maybe a little bit of a problem, but he's been part of that offense that hasn't gotten anything going substantially.
So 1st and 10 for the Wolves, as they're waiting to get their play call from the sideline. 2:03 left to go in the game, clock running. Under 2 minutes now, 36-6, Glenn leading it. Back is in motion. Give it to Rogers. He's going to break across the 40, all the way to the 45, almost to midfield, as they mark him out of bounds at the 47-yard line. A 9-yard pickup for Callan Rogers.
22.
So Rogers trying to pad his stats in this second half, already 19 yards over those last 2 carries.
See, the Wolves can put together a drive before the game is over. Like you said, try to build some momentum and build some positive plays going into next week.
You always want to create some positive tape to build off of, and that's what they always talk about in the next week. You want to focus on what you did right, and if you can put together a drive right here, you put together some confidence for your offense.
Absolutely. So Miller is in motion. They give to him. He's going to run to the outside to the 45, get across midfield, and they will mark him out of bounds in Grizzly territory at the Grizzly 49-yard line. So a 4-yard pickup for Stuart Miller, who was running out in motion.
And the clock doesn't look like it started from that last play. It seems like the last one ended at 143. And it still seems like it remains at 143 now. We'll see if we can get a change on that.
And just trying to see what's going on, if the umpire referee is going to figure this out. Unless he did, I guess he ran out of bounds. That's probably why the clock's not running. But you're right, it should have been running from the play before that. Nonetheless, 1:43 to go. Sandlin rolls out. He's trying to get across the 50. He does. He gets inside the 45 to about the 43-yard line. So a 6-yard run for Jackson Sandlin.
Sandlin keeping on the play.
Set up third down and short.
Number 32, Xavier Houston of the Glen Grizzlies.
Yeah, Sandlin been doing a pretty decent job himself of running the ball and creating some plays for himself, because through the air he hasn't had as much success with some drop passes and a couple of underthrown balls.
1:10 and counting. 3rd and 4 from the 43. Miller in motion. Shotgun. Snap is to him. He's going to roll out to the left. He's going to get across the 45, out of bounds, and he does get the first down as they mark him out of bounds at the Grizzly 35-yard line. An 8-yard pickup for Stuart Miller.
It looks like it was Jalen Sapinter that was on the
carry, yeah. Excuse me.
Sapinter's had a good couple carries for himself. So we keep talking about it. This team does have a little bit of juice in it. It's just a matter of if they can clean up some of their penalties and some of their mental mistakes to try to go for the rest of the season, because we wish nothing but luck for the Weiss Wolves for the rest of the year.
56 seconds left to go in the game. Clock stopped as the runner went out of bounds. They have the ball at the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 in Grizzly territory. Sandlin gets his sign. Shotgun snap. Rolls on a screen pass to the outside. And the ball's out. Ball is out. What a hit. I believe that is Cody Bagwell in on the play. What a hit.
Again,
that's Johnny Gwynn. That's Johnny Gwynn on the hit. As the ball popped out, the player is down. And I'm not sure if that was a fumble or an incomplete pass, but they had put, I believe, Sapinter, as you mentioned, in motion to catch a screen pass. And as soon as he caught it, he was met immediately by Johnny Gwynn. And the player is down. That's the last thing you want to see with 44 seconds left to go.
You see the paramedics on the far sideline bringing in a stretcher, and you hope to God that you don't see them using that. It seems like they are really concerned about him there in the middle of the field.
Looks like he stood him up there. So it's actually Callan Rogers was knocked out on the play. He's up on his own accord. Looks like he was just knocked the wind knocked out of him. Johnny Gwynn delivered the wood on that one. So 44 seconds left to go. So I guess they're going to call it an incomplete pass, just trying to get the down and distance. They have 2nd down on the field, so we'll go by that. Looks like it's 2nd down and 12 as a loss of 2 yards on the play. 2nd down and 12. Miller in motion. They fake to give to him. Up the middle. It's McCoy. Bouncing around, shaking. Inside the 30, inside the 25. That's Martinez at the 24-yard line. A nice
number 22, Calvin Rogers, brought down by number 17.
Martinez on the carry. 23.
And since they picked up the first down, there's 13 seconds left to go. And you saw the coach on the far sideline for Elgin. He's trying to get them going because there's only time for one more play left in this game.
They have a timeout. I don't know why they didn't use it. Sandlin gives. Shaking and bacon is Martinez, and that will do it. The Grizzlies hold on for 36-6 victory. They improved their record to 3-2, 2-0 in the district. They've now won 3 games in a row. All 3 of those games, they've scored above 30 points. Had 30 points against McCallum, 62 against Elgin last week, 36 this week. So this offense starting to get going, moving that average up for them. They came into today's game with a 31.75 average. That's going to go up a little bit above 32 to 33 points a game after 36 points in this one. Any last thoughts, EJ?
The Glen offense doing its thing, and the defense pitching a shutout, because the only 6 points that the Wolves were able to grab was on the pick 6 by McGuire, and that was really the only blemish that was on the day for a team that really played good all the way around. You would have liked them to see them step it on a little bit more, but they got the touchdown at the end of the half to try to put the cherry on top of this win. It's a nice little win, but now you got to go on the road again next week.
Absolutely. So the Glen Grizzlies pick up a win. They go to Cedar Creek next week. We'll be driving out to Bastrop on Friday, October 12th. We'll have the pregame for you at 7 o'clock. Kickoff at 7:30. Glenn looking to build off of this one. I'm sure they'll have a lot of tape to discuss this week. By no means was this a clean game in the second half for the Grizzlies, only getting that last touchdown by Clay Upton. But for the most part, that Weiss Wolves team held them scoreless in the second half. And I'm sure they'll be looking at some tape and looking to make corrections. So that'll do it for us. For Alan Spada, EJ Sanchez, Merle Bertrand, Mitchell Paget, Chuck Licata, everybody involved at the KMAX Sports Vype Media Network. Grizzlies win 36-6. We'll see you next Friday at Cedar Creek.
This is the KMAX Sports Network.